Family, will AMP Code be able to beat Claude Code in adding a new feature? This is day 3 of me trying to launch my viral app, and I got my hands on AMP Code. And I've actually known about this for quite some time, going all the way back from February. So the founder actually hit me up a while back saying, hey, you should check out AMP Code. And it's from a company called SourceGraph. And they actually specialize in some of the earlier versions of agents to really understand your code base. And they do a lot of really cool techniques. This is not a sponsored stream. They did give me some credits. And I thought this would be a really good time because I'm getting so tired of Claude Code messing up on all my builds. And I thought it'd be really cool for us to kind of take a look. For those who don't know, with my app, so far what I've done, I've been able to actually take some photos and it actually does this cool little 2D drawings. And we already have like 23 users that just signed up from the live stream, which is pretty wild. And so if we're just kind of taking a look at the app, we can actually see what users have already done in the gallery. They've done some really cool stuff. Like I take a little photo and it draws these little cool drawings in 2D, like whimsical style. And like I take a picture of like my soda pop and it does like this cool drawing type of thing over it. And I thought, man, this is, to me, it's been a lot of fun. Like somebody even has like a spray paint can and it does this cool drawing. And like I took a picture of an avocado. It has the whole thing. And so this is the app that I'm kind of thinking about as far as like what we need to do. The feedback that I've gotten, I went on a hike yesterday and my friend said, hey, can I just upload my photo? I don't want to take a picture of my face right now. I mean, I get it. I mean, if you're doing something cool or if you want to do something like that. So we're going to see if we can use AMP Code to see if we can add this feature. I haven't really got to play with AMP Code, myself for quite some time, and there's been lots of updates. And the recent time that I played with it was maybe about a month and a half ago, and I didn't think it was ready to replace my Claude Code workflow because I invested so much into it. So we're going to take a look, and I want to show you a little bit more. If you just go to amp.com or ampcode.com, this is a tool engineered to maximize what's possible. And I'm hearing a lot of my crack developer friends, basically who code every day, saying like, you got to check out AMP Code, bro. It's like the real deal. They fixed a lot of things. They have this thing called Oracle. They can do a whole bunch of like, basically what O3 used to do for planning and then the execution part and everything like that. And so that's going to be really interesting. We're going to set that up inside of Cursor. And so in Cursor, basically I have it installed as a little plugin on the side. And it looks just like the normal agent here. And you can start a new thread and share stuff like here. And then basically it says add Agents.md file to the guide the agent on the code base. So we can generate our own Agents.md. And this is going to be probably pretty helpful for it to do whatever it needs to do. This is a workflow that I've already used with Claude Code. And I already have my Claude.md files set up already on here. So I'm going to see if I can try to convert it because all throughout my code, I have all these different readmes and Claude.md files that do really great stuff. And I want to see if, I don't really know if I can actually convert them over and see if you can read all the different Claude.md files. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and tell it to do that first. So I want you to take a look at my Claude.md files. Let's see, my Claude.md files. As they are in many places in this repo. And we're going to need to convert them into the Agents.md file. And so let's see, generate an MD file. So we can work with this agent. Okay. I think that's pretty much it there. So I'm just going to double check that there. Yeah. Okay, cool. I think that's pretty much that. So I think I have that. And then I should also tell it that I have some cursor rules as well. Since I'm using Cursor, I've also generated a bunch of rules here. And then I'm just going to just drag these rules over. I think I should be able to put it in there. I don't know if it does or not. That Cursor rules. Okay, rules. I just want to just give it a whole folder. Okay, cool. Okay, that's all. I'm just going to go ahead and start. So I'm just going to let it do its thing here. Since I'm so heavily invested in Cursor and also in Claude Code, I want to like see if it can actually convert me over, right? Because I think that's a big problem if people are already coding with these types of agents that you want to convert your stuff over. If you're kind of wondering about what the cost is to use this type of thing, you're pretty much just paying the API costs that you normally would hit with Claude Code. And so I think that's kind of what you're thinking about what would be here. And so in this type of case, we're actually going to see how the agent's actually running with my code stuff here. So it's actually it's found the files, it's doing its different things. And this is not cursor. This is actually AMP code. So it says AMP at the very top right. And, AMP is do its own little thinking tasks and it's showing us what it's doing. And it's kind of updating its to-dos. So they basically have their own model and they have they're using a mixture of models, behind the scenes, whether it's Claude Sonnet or Claude Opus. And I should probably check the settings to see what it's configured. So I think right now, okay, yeah, we have the regular Claude Sonnet stuff. All right, cool. I just wanted to double check that. Let's go ahead and go back to this thing here. Okay, so it's thinking. So right now, basically what it's doing is now writing its own little MD file. And we're going to take a look. So let me just kind of catch up on the chat for a sec. Noob question, does Cursor require Pro for this? No, it doesn't. It just lives right inside of Cursor. And you can use this technically in VS Code. You can use this in your own coding agents or your own IDEs. And its AMP code can be installed all across the board. So yeah, that's what's up. Is there any chance I could book a 30-minute call with you anytime? Eugene, yes, there is a link on my website if you want to go to Fernando.ai and you can book some time with me there. And I think you may even be in the Discord if you want. You could just hit me up there and then I'll get you a link so we can book some time. How's it going? I am Don. This is great. So yeah, for those who know, this is kind of what we got going on here. We're trying to see if AMP code can beat Claude Code. Is it worth the extra cost? All of my developer friends are trying other different coding agents, from open source things on the, really low cost stuff to something that's at cost and is a little bit different. For me, I've been running into a lot of issues with Claude Code recently, and it's been kind of slow. And I'm just kind of looking forward to trying something else that's just as good or powerful or better. I've also been using Codex, which I've also been super impressed by. And the folks who are doing work at AMP have had a lot of industry experience here with agents. So they're not just kind of a fly-by-night person. They've also adopted this thing called the Agents.md file. So I want to read to you a little bit of this and what this means. So this is the new standard that's currently adopted by the entire industry right now. So it's Codex. Not only has AMP code adopted it, Cursor has also adopted it. So by us telling AMP to generate its own agents file using all of our existing stuff, we're going to basically be adopting into where everyone else is going. Rue Code, Factory. We also have, Open Code as well, GitHub. Pretty much everyone who's I think, yeah, OpenAI has adopted it. So yeah, these are some examples of what it looks like. It's very similar to a Claude.md file, as we can kind of see here. So this is how you do a PR and everything like that. And so these are very similar to Claude.md files, where if you have a big mono repo, you can nest the agent files, just like I was doing with Claude Code. That way, the agents can actually be familiar when they're actually traversing. So in Convex, I actually have a Claude.md file inside of Convex. So this actually describes all the different things that I need to do when I'm working specifically in the Convex codebase. And in my components, I have a Claude.md file here, and this describes how I use the React components with Convex as well. So when I'm generating code for my components, I want to make sure that they're reactive and that, actually the agent is aware that you should be connecting and looking for different parameters and things in Convex before writing any code or hallucinating stuff. So that's the components. I have a documentation README. I don't necessarily have an MD file, but this is actually how I generate documentation. And I keep track of features using Markdown files by showing what the progress is of a current feature that I'm working on and what the actual feature I'm building out. So in this feature that I'm going to build out, we're going to basically generate one of these, go through this workflow, and I'm still kind of experimenting on this. And some folks have hit me up in the Discord because they've wanted access to this, and I'm kind of sharing as I go. So it looks like it's generated an MD file for us. So for AMP working in this directory, consolidates an overview. So now we have a root level agents file, and it tells it about all the different things for bun and then all of this different stuff here. Okay, this is looking pretty good. So Convex backend rules mandatory. I like this. Yes, do not use filter, background jobs. Okay, this is pretty much, I think, probably copied a lot of what was in there. And so this is really interesting. So now the agent is actually aware that it's going to be working with features. You should dump active work in here, and then completed work should go here, and stuff that's planned should go here. That's really cool. That's awesome that it picked that up. When implementing a feature, check the active spec progress docs and reuse patterns from completed features. That's awesome. That's really, really good. Okay, cool. I like that it's already done this. See, the work is kind of already starting to pay off. So let's take a look at this over here. Now let's see what's going on. I literally just started an agents generation in AMP and Windsurf. Yeah, see, this is already happening. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that Cursor doesn't require Pro for this. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so consolidate all the existing MD files. I don't think the plan was to consolidate them all into a single agent-friendly Agents.md. I don't think I need it though. So I think what I want to do is the files actually work better if we have them in their various folders. Actually, let me see if I can do this here. I'm going to give it the Agents.md documentation here. So the files actually work better if they're in their various subfolders, so we don't eat up too much of the agentic context. I want you to reference this URL because this describes how the agents.md files should be in the various subfolders. So you'll actually see, if you take a look at Claude.md in the various folders around my repo, where they are at and what specific information they have. And I'm going to take a look to remove that. Okay, cool. So I'm going to tell it to go. Awesome. So now it's going to basically doing, it says run a quick repo search to verify no conflicting guidance remains, no follow-ups. Okay. Okay, cool. So this is probably, and I think what's happening now is theoretically, I think if it actually has a new agents file, it's actually going to be following the rules that it just wrote for itself inside of my repo. And if we take a look, yeah, this is the new agent.md files. So it's thinking, and it's actually saying, I want to see it's thinking, see what it's doing. So proposing a plan, planning the implementation. I should fetch this. Okay. Clarifying the approach. Okay. I need to fetch the information from read web page. This is like a tool call. So yeah, it's going to be basically, it looks like it has its own to-dos here for think, and it's thinking some more. Considering, okay, so this is now doing like a web search, and this is pull down some information from the web. So it's, what does it say? Plan to create per folder agents and MD files, app agents, and so forth. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to let it do its thing. Have I tried Claude Code or on Zed? I have not. I prefer to use Cursor primarily because I'm just very familiar with this IDE, and it's, you know, tool calling and linting features. I actually have Cursor Ultra Plan, and I really like it a lot. And one of the things that's interesting about what AMP Code provides is the fact that it kind of combines a lot of these models in once. And so I'm all for simpler user interfaces and combining them. And the other part of it is, like, as my features grow, you know, like a lot of these agents kind of have been historically falling apart. Cursor has made tons of improvements where they actually now better understand my code base. But I'm curious to see, like, does AMP understand my code base just as well as Cursor? You know, I use Claude Code, and usually see Claude Code doing a lot of grepping. And Claude Code takes a much longer time to accomplish a task that I want. And I've noticed a lot of speed ups if I use different types of agents. So one of the things I tried recently in a stream maybe a couple days ago was using Klein with Grok and Kimi K2. So Kimi K2 0905 came out of China, and that supposedly is supposed to be on par with Claude Sonnet. And we were able to implement features blazing fast, like ridiculously fast. And that was really interesting. So I was like, okay, that's really cool. That's still like in my bag. I can pull that out whenever I want to. It's extremely inexpensive, and the caching hit was amazing. So I dumped like 30,000 lines of code or something like that, and it cost me less than like $1.50. Super crazy fast. And yeah, it did use a lot of caching techniques. Zed's dead, baby. Oh my God. Cursor only, bro. No. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I try them all, you know, like I think I only have so much time as well. And I'm really just focused on shipping features that have good quality and getting this stuff turned around as fast as possible. But I need to make sure my rules and stuff are currently in place. So that way, when I'm shipping software, I know that I have a lot of confidence behind I took a lot of time to make these rules files inside of Cursor and inside of also Claude Code as well. So that's why. So now it's actually adding the Agents.md files in my app directory. So it's telling it about the file structure. It's talking about the Convex integrations. So that's really cool. Now we have one in components as well. Remember how I was telling you about React UI? This is great. Pascal case. These are looking really, really good. Now Convex has one too for Convex backend. That's really hot. Created subfolder. Keep the root. Next actions is we want to trim the root agents to a lighter pointer dock and add the smaller ones. That sounds great. So basically it looks like yes, that sounds great. Please proceed. But before we do that, I also want to make sure that I want you to review and then I think it's called the rules. So I have the cursor rules, as I don't think we've fully migrated all of the rules from cursor as to all the various Agents.md files. And command enter. Okay, cool. So yeah, I know this is taking a little bit longer, but this is kind of the first section. If you're watching this on YouTube as a live stream, I'm going to have chapters and timestamps on the actual live streams below. This is now part of a new series called Zero to Viral. And I have a playlist now dedicated. So you can actually see day 1, day 2, this is day 3, and I'm going to keep going. So the next part of this feature that we're trying to build is just try to see if we can actually upload our own photos. But this part here, we're trying AMP code out, and I'm trying to like make sure I follow this new standard called Agents.md. So because once I make these Agents.md files, I can use it with Codex, GPT-5. I can use it also inside of Cursor. I mean, I already have Cursor rules, and I just thought, hey, since AMP code is already using it, and I have some credits from AMP, why not try to like actually get this file created? And this is a serious step that other people like you and me can actually watch together. Because you're seeing me go from like a heavy Claude Code user with those Claude.md files in these different directories to now moving it over to like the Agents.md file. And it takes several iterations, but I think the investment will be worth it. And we should be able to fly pretty fast and pretty reliably using this new Agents.md file. So we'll see. And yeah, so I also appreciate everyone who's been dropping comments. What is your current coding setup? Let me know what you're coding with. Are you coding with Zed? Are you coding with Cursor? What plans you got? Like, I've seen so many people, like, I feel like this week is the cancel Claude Code week. With all the new Chinese models dropping, people are like, yo, I'm canceling Claude Code. And like, I like Opus a lot. Opus is amazing for planning. So we'll see. And this is kind of why I'm really curious here, because AMP code has its own planning, and that one's called Oracle. So is the Oracle as good as Opus? The Oracle is probably a lot cheaper than Opus. And like with the reputation of what AMP code has, and everyone's saying how good it is at these different, like understanding your code base. We'll see. I think this is going to be really interesting, especially because like I want to do a feature plan with Oracle, and then I want to try to ship the feature just all in AMP, since I have some credits, let's burn them. You know what I mean? I like AMP UI so far. Yeah, AMP UI is so clean. It's super clean. Xcode. Oh yeah, Xcode. Dude, yeah. Oh yeah, Daniel, what's up, man? Gotta check you out for sure. Have you tried the mysterious Sonoma Sky Alpha? No, I heard that's the Grok model, I think. Windsurf and Qwen 3 Coder. To-do list from Windsurf. Speed of Qwen 3. I am done. What are you using for planning? I'm really curious. Cursor only. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's see what's happening here so far. Still rocking Claude Code with a max plan, $100, but I'll be looking to switch probably due to speed. Yeah. Hoping Google will drop something new soon. I'm hearing the Google CLI has improved a lot too. So that'll be really interesting to see. Let's take a look, fam. We've got a lot more changes now. Okay. So it does proceed. And what did it do next? It basically added more information to our various patterns, which is really great. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted more detail in the various subfolders, and this is exactly what it's doing now. So note for agents, prefer the local Agents.md files, see the root overview of this, and then per folder guidelines at app. And this is awesome. So this is now actually pulling in, and it's even telling Claude, bro, I don't know if you realize this. What happened right now is that the actual AMP agent is saying in Claude.md saying, yo, if you're reading this as an LLM, like you're deprecated. It's like deprecating the other AI model. Like literally AMP code is deprecating Claude Code. It's like, yo, Claude Code, chill. Like, don't read this rules file anymore. That's invalid. You don't need it anymore. Go read this file instead. Yo. Bro, these AI people are just like literally like, look at this. This is in the components Claude, right? For agents, prefer the Agents.md for the nearest rules, root, whatever. And it's even telling about the structure. And it's basically over here just told it to like ignore the previous like workflow and stuff like that. That's so crazy. And this is putting it into the Claude.md file. So like it's literally going to the actual where Claude would read this file and saying, yo, nah. Like you're dead. You're dead, son. Dude, that's heavy, bro. I don't know if I could do all that. So review all the cursor rules, trim the root. Okay. It's so far the changes and migrated the missing rules into the Convex guide, added the common front end patterns, trimmed the root guide to point to the doc in the agents, updated Agents.md. Let me click that. Okay. So everything should be pointing here. And then so for the front end, okay, this is really cool. So this is like a book. Now you have an index and it's telling it to like, if you're working on this, go there type of thing. So this is like, I want to keep, see, this is now only 71 lines. I wanted to keep the main agents file like as light as possible. So that way my context window is wide open and it would like use this as needed. So this is really cool. So trim the root pointer. And then now the root is this, and we have a Claude.md file here. So in the Claude.md file, you see like for what cursor, for what Claude Code would read, this is for agents prefer the local MG file. So it actually is telling Claude Code to go like, don't look at this file anymore, go look over here. This is great, this is great. Okay, so kept the project stance to avoid .filter and convex queries, even though some generic examples use it. You want to cron search examples moved elsewhere. Okay, so merge, final status, merge, trimmed root agents. Okay, want me to add a short pointer note to readme as well? Yes, go ahead and do that in the readme. Yes, go ahead and do that in the readme. The readme. Okay, cool. So I'm going to try to check in these changes. There's a lot of changes to all my agents. So like all my agents files got updated and my Claude files got updated too. And then we're just doing one last README update here. It's pretty fast. I like this so far. Yeah, I mean, this seems to be like, if I'm going to be paying, you know, Cursor the same cost as, you know, for the API costs, like is one better than the other? I mean, dude, the AMP code is moving. It's moving. So like, we'll see, you know, this is only the rules file, by the way, and we're going to see what's going to happen next with the, when we actually try to ship a feature, which would be really fun. Okay, so per the agents pointers, Claude, no build changes required. Anything else to migrate cursor rules? You call that explicitly? No, we're good, fam. Okay, so I'm going to check these codes changes in, and then I'm going to commit it. Okay, so once we have there, going to sync those changes. Okay, so now the next move is to generate a feature. So the feature that I want to build is, I'm just going to tell it straight up. Okay, so consult the Oracle. So this is interesting. So it says you can add files, you can consult the Oracle, and this says invoke the Oracle, use O3's powerful planning and reasoning, freeing the main thread to focus on execution. Example prompt, use the Oracle to review the latest commit changes. Oh, and then if we want to use a sub-agent, what do they say here? Spawn sub-agents for complex multi-step tasks. Each sub-agent has its own context and tool access for independent execution. So use the sub-agents to implement this new API endpoint. Okay, cool. So I think what I want to do is I have this little convention now. I think I was telling you a little bit earlier, but let's just kind of go ahead and review it. This is what I'm actually actively working on. And as far as like share page optimization, this is basically already done. So I think what I want to go ahead and do, and I just want to tell it like, so far, as far as the share pages, I rejected the caching headers and I think why, I don't know why. Next steps are begin phase 1 with start server. I think we already have the sharing is already working. Sharing page optimization. Okay. So as of now, the share page optimization work is already done. And so we should go ahead and move that to completed so I can start working on my next feature. And then I'm going to just, can I just drag a file in? No, I can't. Okay. So I have to do @share page optimization. Okay. And it should be able to pick up a little bit of kind of what I'm working with here. And I'm just curious to see how this is going to be like sort of my first time to see how it's kind of working here, because I want to see like, you know, how does AMP actually work? You know, is it really that good? Yeah. Check the sub agents. That'd be really cool. It seems like OpenAI are only cooking really hard with Codex in a couple of weeks. Might be completely changed the game. I'm hearing Codex, a lot of really good news there. I'm trying Claude for the first time today, new Vision Pro product. Oh yeah, that'd be really cool. A Vision Pro thing, yeah. So far I like AMP. It's a bit slower, but it does one-shot errors. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. Yeah, that's what's up. So let's see what's going on here. So right now, I think it's just writing all the changes completed, right? What's it doing? Thinking. Okay, so it's actually discovered that it has a completed directory as well. And I think what I should do is maybe update the README to have the information about how this documentation folder works. Maybe that's probably how we should do. So that could be very helpful for these agents because I feel like that should be included in here. So this has a similar thing. So we're going to move the folder and say always run. All right, we're going to YOLO things. Yo, what's going on? Okay, this is going to move this as well. Okay. Proceeds to exit Y. I'm going to just try to always run. I don't know why it's freaking out. Okay. Okay, just move the whole thing over. Great. Thinking. Updated to-dos. Okay, I think we're done. And so this has like a 400, almost a 400K token context window, 368. That's really cool. And so it looks like you can fork, create a new thread with summary or compact. That's really nice that they have this little the UI here. So all I have to do is just hover over this, and this UI is super clean. Yeah, it seems very discoverable. Sup, just joined. What is AMP? AMP is a coding agent that's basically from this company called SourceGraph. I think it's Source. What is it? Source tree, SourceGraph, right? I'm blanking out. SourceGraph, yes. So SourceGraph is like the OG in basically AI coding. And so from the very beginning, they've done these like enterprise grade features where they can actually understand really, really large code bases. And these guys are super duper cracked for agentic coding in essence. So they've had this new product that's called AMP, and AMP is basically going to allow us to use Claude Sonnet, the O3 models, and all these different things. They have these different features in agentic coding. So this would basically take this takes over the your agent that's currently in here, just like the way Codex does, just like the way some of these other things do as well. And apparently, while it's a little bit, you're paying, the cost of the API, compared to like a Claude Code plan, Claude Code, you kind of max out as far as cost, at $100 or $200, depending on your max plan. Here, you're just paying the API cost. And theoretically, this is supposed to be like a lot more performant because it has this thing called the Oracle, which is supposed to help us for planning, which is where we're going to use to implement a feature. And then the second part of it is just, its knowledge of the code base and traversing that and working a lot faster. I've just been having so much unreliability when I'm using Claude Code that I was like, if I'm going to pay $200, I'd rather pay $200 towards, source AMP code. And the AMP code folks have been in contact with me since like February. And they gave me some credits and I tried it out for a little bit. And now I'm actually going to really try it out for real and do a live stream about it because I wanted to form my own opinion. And this is like my own opinion. They're not paying me. They have given me some credits. So I'm basically just going to try to like implement a real feature and see, because like since February, they've implemented so many things and they've added so much stuff. Like I'm at this point now where like I've invested so much into Claude Code that I'm so torn that I'm actually ready to change to something else that's actually very reliable, even if it costs more money. That if the output is really good, I'm rolling with it. So yeah, I'm in this stage where I'm trying these different things here. So I'm basically working with my documentation. It's moved the documentation, and now I think what I'm doing is, yeah, that's completed. That's cool. I'm gonna make sure my documentation is up to date. I know that we have some information about my documentation folder, but I noticed that I don't have a Agents.md rule file for my documentation folder. Okay, let's see if I can do this here. I notice I don't have an Agents.md file for my documentation folder, right? I think this is how it works. But I notice I don't have an Agents.md file. I think this is what it is. Agents row file for my documentation folder, but I do have a README. So the README is in the documentation features, I think. No, is it completed features? This one's in documentation README. Where is it? Huh. Oh yeah, here we go. But I do have a documentation README. Can you create the agents.md for documentation? And let's see, root agents, basically agent md know it exists so we can keep track. As we go. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I have this new scheme, and this is something that I'm planning to publish and you're kind of getting a first look at, but I have this really light way of keeping track of the features that I'm working on, and I've created a documentation folder. And the way that it works is like I have a features folder, and then features are either active or completed. And I also have this other criteria that I have here that I'm going to just move my head across. And so I'll show you real quick. This is kind of what this looks like. And so the way that it works is whenever I'm working on a feature, it's either going to be actively working on, and the feature name with a spec will be here. And then any progress that the agent needs to update will also be there as well. And then when it's completed, it's going to move over to the completed name with the feature folder and so forth. And anything that we have planned will actually pop up in here. And then in the future, when I have any architecture changes or stuff like that, that's also going to be displayed here. So this root folder serves as like the guideline for AI agents. And when it's generating a spec file, this is something that's going to be done here as well. I notice that over and over when I'm doing a lot of agentic coding, a lot of stuff will be in like one agent like Claude Code, but then when I move over to Codex or when I move over to another type of software, it's just like none of those agents are aware of like the work that's happened. Sure, they can read the Git history, but then they start to hallucinate really quickly and they're not really completely sure what has happened. The other problem I had was that when I'm spawning off background agents, you know, Codex can do one thing and then cursor background agents can do one thing. And because each of them can either start different branches or they'll start to work in different silos, they're not aware of what they're working on. And so what I want to do is like, if I can, you know, create the system that's in my actual code, right? Not through an MCP server, but actually in code, this will allow the agents to look at the progress and see what they're working on. And the second thing that it does is it opens up the capability for the sub-agents to take features and then work on them. So one feature can have 3 phases of work, and I want maybe one sub-agent to work on the first phase. And after each phase in my actual documentation, I describe what are the verifiable steps that need to be done to make sure that when that feature is shipped, it's working. So what will happen is that the agents will continue to work and do whatever they want autonomously. And then it'll update this little progress file inside of the code. It'll check it in. If I'm having another agent do some work and they're going to be merging changes in, they're going to check that file and they're going to see, wait, I'm merging changes in here. Like who's actually the most up to date? And so they can kind of resolve conflicts on themselves. And so I'm basically acting like a senior engineer to architect them to work with each other, right? It's just something that you would do normally as a team. And I'm keeping it extremely lightweight as possible, right? If I can read it, then they can read it, right? I'm not trying to do stuff where if I can't read it, then whatever, YOLO. And so this is my lightweight way of doing this. And I'm basically investing super heavily here because once I get this rules file set up and this workflow going, we'd be really like, we really won't have to worry too much once this gets, yeah. So cooking like a project manager. Exactly. Yeah, that's the whole point. I think that's like, if you think about these features, sometimes like they can get really crazy and you lose track of everything that's going on. You know, I want to at least keep some type of track of what's going on and kind of ship software. So yeah, 2 sub-agents going, let's see how it goes. Yeah, that'll be in the future. Okay. So let's just go ahead and see where we're at now with this type of software and feature. So as of now, what did it do? So it created a whole, okay. So it created a whole checklist. So over here, I'm just going to show you real quick. So it looks like it created an Agents.md file inside of my actual documentation. So basically the agents will be able to read through. And we're seeing that the purpose is here, and it actually says standards and templates live in the README MD. Follow closest wins, prefer rules for this file. Feature docs lifecycle, and even explains this exact life cycle that I was basically mentioning. And there's like a move checklist for the agents. Man, this thing is so good. So what to index and where to look. So the current work is here, and the current completed patterns are here, and the future work is here. So like this is going to be self-compounding, and this is exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and check these changes in. So there are 2 changes that were done. So this is the first change, and then the second change was to the actual Agents.md root file. And so in that root file, basically what it did is just saying it talked about documentation rules. So now that it's basically taking a look at, it's like if the agent is in there, it's going to work through those rules files. Okay, that's really, really good. All right, so I'm going to check this thing in, and then we're going to work on our feature next. I know, but this is like why I'm trying to document building this stuff from scratch, because not a lot of people talk about how they go from zero to like, you know, their viral app. A lot of times people have done this many times. They'll take a template and say, let's ship it. And like, they don't show you all the sauce that has happened before. Granted, I have never launched a viral app, but that doesn't mean anything. It just means that I'm going towards it. I'm going to keep failing until I get there. And I'm building these templates along the way. So I appreciate everyone who's been able to invest in me early here. You're following along some of the greatness, and let's cook. I mean, why can't you do this at the same time, right? As this software is evolving, if you're going to look back a year from now, this is going to look like crazy old, right? But we're here, and you're going to learn a lot along the way with prompting, how I think about software, how I organize these types of things. You know, I'm coming from an engineering background, trying to learn the marketing side of things, and then trying to apply that into a software and code and like actually affect people's lives. So why not start with something really fun? Nanobanana just launched. It's a really fun model to play with. It's really cheap to use, and let's cook. I mean, I'm here for it. You know what I mean? Do you find friends like in the app? You got any feedback? Yes, I do. I got some feedback, and I need to add the image uploader. So this is what we're going to add next. Now that I have all my documentation in place, let's go ahead and do that. So all my documentation is in place. We're ready to ship. Let's go. Okay, so let's, one of the things that they talked about here is saying use the Oracle and then use subagents. So I think I'm going to say, I think the example here says use the Oracle to review the latest commits changes. Okay, so I'm going to say use the Oracle to help me plan out a new feature. And when I plan the feature, I like to put that information in the documentation. And I have an agents in the documentation that explains the specs and the different information we should be using to actually write out our features. In this first feature that we want to ship, my users have been saying that they would just love to upload their own files into my app so it can be processed. Right now, my app only does webcam, so people have to enable the webcam in order to take the photograph and then have it processed. So we need to build out the different parts of the features from the user interface to connecting to Convex and so forth. And I'm going to need you to do some research on my repo to figure out how we should do that and come up with a plan. And once we have that plan, we should write that into a spec doc that I can review and then see if we can be ready to proceed and go forward with this. Okay, so we're going to really see how AMP code can take like this generic feature and see if it can actually kind of turn it into some interesting, a feature document. So let's go ahead and go. And I'll be really curious to see how it traverses and see how good it is at like understanding my code base, understanding all these different rules files that I've littered all over the place that describe the conventions that we should be using with Convex. And I'm really curious to see what happens after that. So it's basically taking a look at the scope. So it should know that I have shadcn UI, should know that I should use like those types of installers for that. It should know a lot of different things. So it's basically now taking a look at my current flow. It looks like it's launched multiple subagents because it looks like it has multiple queries kind of happening in parallel right now. And it's like kicking them off with these different types of things. And it's reading these files. This is really cool. So it looks like it's, grep these things. Bro, this thing's cooking fast. Okay. So yeah, it's basically just reading all these files. It's like, okay. And here's the to-dos list. Let me see, can I expand this? No, I can't really. Okay. I was just really curious. So it's basically going to do research webcam capture flow, where the images are processed, discover Convex storage actions, and how Gemini processing is wired. And then draft plan is the UI Convex processing pipeline, validation, edge cases, and then write the spec doc. Okay. So now it's actually thinking, and then what's it thinking about? I want to see what it's thinking. It's thinking what I'm thinking. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's see. Okay. I just forked the Drip Me Out repo. I'm making it create a one piece of posters of you. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, dude, J35, let me know how it's going. By the way, if you guys want to join the Discord, I have a paid private Discord if you're kind of checking it out. And a bunch of folks are in there kind of like hanging out with us and supporting the whole movement. Once we get to the like 200 paying members, then the price will go ahead and double that. So if you want to get in now, the best time to get in is $14.99. And it's just a big thank you for those who've been able to support, because all of this stuff helps roll into funds to, get higher video editors and do different things. And as we get more folks joining in, I just got a Discord mod. His name is Starwinds or Vicious, and it's my friend Kalai. He loves Discord, so he's going to be doing some really cool things. We're going to try to see if we can get some different integrations set up like music and some other stuff so we can do some more hangouts. And I also want to do a hangout with folks who are building stuff with AI. So if be on the lookout for the folks on the Discord, you're going to be seeing a message from me saying, hey, we're going to have like a weekday hangout and one of the weekend hangouts. And if you're building any apps and stuff, I want everyone to kind of come together, on voice and just kind of chat and share what they're working with. That way we can just kind of, I think a lot of people are trying to like cross-pollinate information, and I need to make sure we make that happen. So this thing is really going to town. Let's see what it's doing. Wow. Okay, so what is it doing now? So it's basically, I think it's come up with the file upload thing that it should be doing. So the task is this, and it's got a lot of context. And now it's actually writing my whole documentation out. So file upload enables signed-in users to upload existing file. In addition to a webcam capture, reuse the current Convex storage Gemini Flash pipeline. So upload images to generate the same. This is looking pretty good. I like this plan so far. So here are the goals. Here's the non-goals. Server-side validation can be added later if abuse observed. Drag and drop thumbnail preview, possible follow-up, any dependencies. It wrote its own user stories. That's really cool. It even has a mermaid diagram. Dang. Bro, this Oracle feature is like, that's why, see, this is the model that you can't get right now in Codex. The O3 model is only available over API. I think Cursor still has it, but AMP Code has it. And AMP Code is using that in the current Oracle. So I had to call the Oracle for planning. And this is my favorite feature from O3 that I miss, is that whole like architecture diagram. And this is actually building it right back in. Oh, this is so nice. So check it out. I'll show you what it's doing so far. And so this is basically the documentation for the feature it built out for me. I like to review these to make sure that it's legit before I start building. You can kind of see here, I don't think we can zoom in pretty far, but we can see the actual like architecture view. So let me see if I can kind of zoom in this. So, whoops. Oh no. Okay. Can I go back? Okay. Can I Command plus it? Oops. I don't think I could see the architecture. Okay, no. Okay, zoom. Okay. But basically it's looking like I have a user here, they uploaded the image, and there's like a workflow pipeline, and it kind of goes through Convex storage, Gemini Flash, and also the table here. So webcam component, it's even detailing the UX design. So there's tabs, an on comment that, okay, I like this form. Interesting. So validation is going to be client side, allowed meme types, max backend. No schema changes, reuse existing mutations, hardening deferred, add a server side metadata check to upload or fail early, not required for V1. I think we should do that for V1 though. Minimal changes. Yeah. Okay, add validation. Why can't, okay, I think the other thing is like, let's see what else is talking about. Branch. So the spec document's here. And then the next step is if you approve the spec, I'll implement the minimal diffs in the page and then run a build check, ready to proceed. It's like, I think what I want to do is just go ahead and update the spec. So let's just read it real quick. Enabled sign-in users to upload an existing image. In addition to webcam, reuse the Convex storage and generate the same decorated outputs that appear real-time gallery, ship the client-side validation, accessible UI, and so forth. Currently, users must enable webcam. Okay. Add upload tab with file chooser. Maintain UX, different things. Server-side validation can be added later if abuse is observed. Add drag and drop, any new dependencies. I feel like, how hard would it be to add server-side validation? Because I feel like if we're already doing something for the front-end side, we should be able to do something for the back-end side in Convex. So I'd love to get an idea of what that scope looks like. And so what else do we have to do? So as a user, I can switch to an upload tab and choose an image of less than 5 megabytes of an allowed type to start the generation. As a user, if my file is invalid or too large, I can see a clear error not to submit. Okay. I think another thing too is that like, I think what happens is if people use their iPhone to upload an image, it may be larger than we expect, but I'd love to do some type of client-side processing to maybe compress the image down. Because if it's not a JPEG or something and it's over 5 megabytes, it's possible that we can compress it down. Can you look into various libraries that can help us with that? I also want you to do some web research to understand if this is a common pattern, because I'm not really sure about this for my project. Okay, so then what else do we need to do here? There's an architecture overview, key existing integration points. So there's a page UI, webcam component. Great. So the tabs in wrap the component to enter submit. Use this accessibility, a validation for the client side. Okay. Front end flow, back end. So no schema changes, reuse existing mutations, internal actions. Okay, that's really cool. At server side, this is what we're talking about. Minimal code changes. So then this is basically before we're going to have a tabs trigger. Okay, this is really cool. Yeah. Ah, interesting. It's a slight mission, but I always integrate Bunny CDN uploads. Oh, that could be interesting. Yeah, Convex has that stuff built in for like the file uploads. So I'm really curious to see what can work here. So only authentication users can sign in. Okay, so let's just go ahead and see if I can do something with this. I'm just really curious for this first version spec and seeing like what we're going to get out of this, because I was just trying to read the spec file here. So I'm going to just stage these changes so far because I sort of like them, but I'm going to let the actual Oracle continue to do its work here. So yeah, once we get this, I think writing the code should be super fast. Yeah, because I don't think there's going to be any problem with that. So yeah, that's what's up. All right, let's see what's going on so far. So yeah, cool. And this is, yeah, like what else have they do? Look mono Flickr. Yes, so it looks like they also have, AMP code also has like a CLI similar to what everyone else is doing. So it's no longer just a command line tool, but a proper terminal interface, full screen. Okay, that's cool. So this is very similar to Claude Code, but wow, dang. That's pretty cool. Update to-dos. Okay, so it's very similar to what we're doing in our UI, but if you just want to work in the CLI, you could do that. That's pretty hot. That's actually really hot. You can now provide tools to AMP in the form of executable files. Huh. That's really cool. Maybe you should limit the size. As is public, saw some other project that crashed because some spam decided to add. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's actually what I was thinking of here. And so I was thinking there must be an existing library that already does this validation that we can just, I know Zod does some validation. So I'm just curious to see if it's going to actually pick that up or if I have to explicitly call that out. And then also if there's like any browser image compression libraries too. So yeah. But the other thing too is like right now I'm still like in the MVP phase. So I'm like, I've only turned it on for people who want to watch the live stream and use it. And it's not really like viral yet. Unless it does go viral, then I could just turn off the app or something. I don't know. I can lock off. So with Clerk, I could just toggle it once and say no one else is allowed to actually use the app, or I can ban or block users super fast. And so that's kind of why I use Clerk. It's like super quick to do things on my phone. I don't have to check in any code changes. The other thing too is like, the first phase is like getting this to show people and get their reactions, right? So the first feedback I got was like upload images, right? And if I can get someone's photo and upload it or have them start uploading, I think that would be really cool. Let's figure out what's going on here. It looks like a lot of research just happened. Holy smokes. What's happening? Let's see. It's flying. Wow. What did it do? Let's kind of read through this here. Oh, so it did a lot of like agentic searching in parallel and found different libraries to see if we can actually implement this feature. Because I'd love to just implement this in one shot and be done. So the recommended client pipeline is like if the file is this, then downscale and then re-encode. If the JPEG downscaling this and encode to this, it should basically quality is aimed for this. Implementation options. This looks good. There's a client server policy, enforce a hard ceiling, return validation errors if precise, effort impact. So server validation is 0 dependencies, 1 to 2 hours. Client compression, simple browser compression. Yes. Pika based, similar efforts. Okay. So decision, choose a client library set, a browser image compression, H2C, any recommended balance, higher resize quality, similar weight, confirm server side limits. Okay, this looks cool. So research planned and client compression, propose minimal backend check-in and a client pipeline for this. No code changes needed. If you approve option A or B with server limits, I'll update the spec and implement. Hell yeah. Let's go ahead with option A. So far as context, I've only used 46,000 tokens. That's pretty sweet. This is pretty awesome. I would just open a new window once I get the spec lined up. So, all right. So I think I want option A because option A is basically just a browser image and it's just a recommended balance. I don't think I need anything crazy like this. Similar weight, higher quality. But I don't know what the differences are between the two. Can you tell me a little bit more about the differences between option A and option B? Like, does one require more code than the other? For me, maintainability is really, really big, and compatibility with Convex and my Next.js project are also really big because I'm doing lots of agentic coding. Agentic coding, not decoding. Okay. Whoops. Command enter is their command here. So let's see what's going on. Just double checking. Cool. Let's see. Are you using a specific MCP for the parallel processing? No. This is all built into AMP code. So AMP is actually the one that's actually doing the parallel processing, which is really nice. Yeah. AMP be like, you've used up your usage. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think I've really used too much so far, so it shouldn't really cost me that much. I think I have like $100 and some change in credits, so it should be enough to get us through this stream, hopefully. I'm pretty sure it's way more than enough, to be honest. Okay, so let's read a little bit more about this. So option A is browser image compression. So the simplest to wire up, least code, good enough quality for most cases, best maintainability, agent friendly, works with Next.js client components, Convex. You still upload a blob file to assigned URL. And then option 2, slightly more glue code, but higher quality downscaling at big size reductions. Good if you're picky about artifacts and if you don't mind a bit more code. Got it. So I think what I'll do is option 1, right? What's different practically? Code you write. One function call per file, and that's around 30, 40 lines of code. Create off-screen canvas, call Pika, resize, and blob. That's 50 to 70 lines of code. And API surface is one compressed file. Resize only, great quality. You handle decode, blob, naming quality yourself. Image quality, good for A. So A basically, and then so B looks like they actually have a off-screen canvas. That's really interesting. 50 to 70 lines of code is not really that big of a deal. Resize only. So this one's one compressed file. Okay. Oh, so this one in option B, you have to call progress and you have to call workers and stuff so that you can handle that processing in the browser. Otherwise, you have to write this yourself, which takes a little more lines of code. That makes more sense. That's why they say the glue quality. Okay. Consistently better downscaling though. Dang. On large iPhone photos. Let's just go with option A. All right. Smallest diff, simplest maintenance, quality. That's pretty, yeah, I think this is just the MVP. So I don't really need that. Okay. So the Convex side is unchanged. Let's go with option A. And yeah, I think that's it. Let's go with option A. Please go ahead and write the detailed spec for this. And I'm planning to implement this in a new chat afterwards. Okay. I keep hitting enter, but it's like enter actually creates a new line and then shift enter here, or command enter is the one that actually submits it. So I could see why. I mean, like once you get used to something, for me, I just keep repeating it, but that's it, is what it is. Mine is done. Nice. Yeah. It's something, it's somewhat similar to Cura ID is doing with the spec plan whole workflow. Yeah, I like spec driven development, but some spec driven developments go like way too spec heavy. And for me, I like to like spec like minimally and test. And as it's writing the spec, I kind of want to be involved in this process because I really am not a web developer, right? I'm learning to be a web developer through agentic coding. And so I'm asking the agent to pull these resources for me because that's faster than searching Google and spending like several days reading through all the different, stuff when there's already existing code bases that do this, and all these other different things. And so for me, this is more about like learning on the fly and then kind of teaching you as well, like what I learn as I go through this. So it's kind of like a mixed thing, if you know what I mean. So currently watching Codex CLI scaffold out a complete containerization of infrastructure, 5 microservices. Dang! Yeah, Codex is crazy. It could do it. I believe it. Yeah, I mean, I think all of them could do it. But right now, I'm just kind of rolling slow. Yeah, I just want to make sure I get this type of thing here. So now we have a planned, in my documentation, it actually has a new planned feature here. So it's file upload spec. And it has a whole like entirely detailed thing for even the mermaid flowchart of like the user selects the file and then it's going to do dynamic import if it's a large file. This is fire. This is a fire spec. Holy smokes. Yeah, let's take a look. Sheesh, bro. Look at this spec. Wow. Okay, this is nice. And this is what O3 specializes in. O3 is a really good architect and it's architected a nice little implementation here. This is nice. Okay, so here we go. For the validation, we have if it's more than 5 megabytes, then it's going to convert and compress to JPEG under 5 megabyte uploads and generates. This is really nice. So Convex enforced limits, rejects validation, and we get a validation error. Security concerns, auth remains UI, gated, server side, yes. So the rollout plan is branch, feature, upload UI. Okay, cool. So yeah, all right, cool. It even has my bun stuff, right? Cool. I think this plan looks good. Dang it. I kind of like nailed it. All right. So uploaded spec. Next, if you approve, I'll proceed to the new chat and implement the lib image prep helper and the convex validation steps. Okay. This looks pretty good. So I'm going to make sure I check this in and here we go. Awesome. Cool. Commit. And if you approve, I'll proceed to new chat. I don't know if like this is actually going to make a new chat for me or if it's going to like actually, new thread with summary, create a new thread. I don't know if I need a summary, to be honest. I'm just going to start a new thing with lib image prep. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to just say this. I'm just going to copy and sit new chat. Continuing from the previous chat. And so please implement at file upload spec, right? And let's go ahead and go. Yeah, so we're now should be able to watch what the AMP agent does. So this is something that I normally would do with Claude Opus. I would normally do all the planning with Claude Opus, and then it would generate this spec file. And then this spec file would be something I just hand over to Claude Sonnet or Claude Opus itself with Claude Code, and it would just kind of continue to write all the code and the features for us. So in essence, now we're basically just doing this, but just now watching it done for us. So here I have my Claude thing done there. I'm going to bun. I'm going to leave out bun dev. And so, yeah, we're going to tell it to do the implementation. So let's see what it's doing. So it's reading the actual features, the planned. The planned features has been added to verified. Okay, so now it's basically doing its thing here. Next actions, proceed with the upload tab and implement. Lib image prep TS and convex validation in the new chat. Cool. So I don't know if it's actually creating a new chat. So please continue. Oh, I think it thinks it has to go to a new chat because I don't think it creates a new chat by itself. And what is it saying? The user asked for the implementation. Now they're requesting to continue. Okay. Cursor indicates we're beyond the end of that document. I want to implement the upload tab button. So what's it doing? So yeah, I'm just kind of watching it do its thing. I'm really curious. See, now that we have this file, if this fails, I can still give this to Claude Code. I can still give this to Cursor. I can still give this to Codex, and watch them all cook basically. And it would be really curious. This is kind of where I can do a little bit of a comparison now, because now I have the detailed document that I would have built out. I'm sure one of the agents built it out, but this is something that meets all the specs that I want anyways. It's fairly close. Whether Claude Opus does it, whether this one does it, it's really interesting. It'd be interesting even just to see how if I would use the Oracle more often than I would use Claude Opus for this. So like for those who are following along in this live stream, so far what we've done is that we're using AMP code. We're converting the Claude.md files to the new Agents.md structure. So Agents is something that is newly adopted for OpenAI. Cursor is now adopting that. Pretty much everyone in the industry except for Claude is adopting this new standard. And so that way, you can actually just give, you don't have to like duplicate all your different, Agent.md files and stuff like that. So that's easier to keep track of. And so that was like the first part of this thing, getting those things set up. And the second thing was actually using AMP code Oracle feature to see if we can actually generate a feature plan. And then now we're actually giving it the feature plan to implement and watching it do that type of thing. And so this should just be using technically Claude Sonnet underneath the hood to the implementation. And we're just kind of watching it basically fly through my code right now and build all these different features. So, okay, AMP was fun, but I'm going to spend cash now. To be continued. Yeah. Would you continue with it? I am down. I'm just really curious, what you're thinking so far and why, what was it worth it? I mean, what are you using now as well? Like, is there a better thing for you? I'm just really curious. Yeah. So I'm going to make my head smaller and kind of put myself over here. So that way we kind of watch what's going on. So this has a new browser image compression and this library here. I wonder if it just added it, and instead of bun installing it, why didn't it just bun install? Oh, it did. It says bun add. Okay, cool. It did add it. Nice. Now we have an image prep. So this will actually prep our images on Convex. So prepare for an image for upload. So this prepares it, and transcode and compression. So this will actually do this on the server side. Okay. Compress and downscale. I think, don't we want to do this on the actual client side, not on the actual Convex side? Let me just double check this. Oh, no, this is actually a client side library. Okay. Yes. Yeah, it's a client. Okay, perfect. Perfect. This is nice. And now we have a pages. So we have go to app page. I'm just kind of reviewing the code as it's flying in. So client side validation type. Great. Awesome. I think so. It just feels smooth. I'm a Windsurf maxi, and I strangely really like the Coder IDE. Oh, I'll have to check that out. Yeah. Like Coder, right? It's really cool. Yeah, we have this validation here. Now we have the generate. So let's go to generate and see what it changed here. So validate the metadata cache and allowing us for the validation unsupported clients. File exceeds 5 megabytes. Run build. There's an error for the build. And what is it doing here? What's the actual error? Specify a different type. No explicit any. Okay, yes. Can't be writing any's like that, bruh. Okay. Enabled upload tab. Okay. So I think we're done already. Let's see. Let me just restart the TypeScript server and go back into here. Let me just go ahead and close others. Where are we? So I think we have the feature already. So let me just do bun dev, right? I think, are we already cooking? Localhost 3000. Let's see. That's wild. They don't allow. Okay, so we have camera and we have upload. Oh, okay, this will be really fun. Let me see if I can just upload something. Choose a file. Okay, I'm gonna go to my desktop and I'm gonna go select sample images. So in my sample images, I have a couple different images, like one of my dog. Why don't we do that? I hit upload and generate. So we should have the feature working. I don't see why not. And so image generation started. Yeah, so it's already uploaded the image. And let's look at the back end here. So it looks like it got the image. It's yeah, it's already done. Nice. That's cute. So it like added a scarf over it. Obviously it's not the way I want it, but hey, like at least it's actually working. Let's try another image. So one I had was like with my friend. And so let's see how that works here. I'm going to go ahead and upload and generate. This is fun. So now it says upload failed. Interesting. I want to see why the upload failed. Upload and generate. Okay, image generation started. You're enhanced. You can press refresh page. Generation will continue in the background. Yeah. Okay, cool. This is generating up here. That's awesome. Didn't know about AMP yet. How's it going so far? Another tool to get a free $10 on it. Pretty much, yeah. Like AMP Code, I think the strongest feature right now is the Oracle feature for planning, and it's using O3, which I really like. One of my favorite parts of O3 are those architecture diagrams that it generated, and that's something that right now you can only have access to over API. Cursor has O3 model, and AMP Code has O3. AMP Code works through this stuff pretty quickly. One of the first things that we had to do is basically bootstrap it a little bit and do the actual, let's see. So did it convert the second one? Let's see. It says generating. Oh, there were 2 issues. Oh, shoot. I think I killed it. Oh, no, that's fine. Let me get rid of this. Let me refresh here. Okay, don't allow. That's fine. Upload. Let me just upload my friend. Let's see. Upload. Oh, there he is. So this is the one that it uploaded, but it didn't do anything. Okay. Upload and generate. So yeah, it looks like it started here. I'm kind of watching in the background, and let's see if it does do something. It says, and at the bottom here, it says generating. And so, yeah, this is just like an MVP right here. And you can see the post request. So it did come back. So we should be able to see something. Oh, I think it did. So here's what it did. It did generate some like little flashy drawings here. But it wasn't so like whimsical. Yeah, this is more whimsical. Yeah. See, like, that's why I think maybe I should like do a couple generations. Okay. Yeah. So it did do a generation here and it worked, and it just took a little longer. Okay. So let's go upload and generate. Let's select another one here. So another image I have is like maybe this one. My friends Lee and Ann eating some Mexican food. Let's go ahead and upload those. Generate. Cool. I mean, so the feature is working basically in one shot. But yeah, so for those who are following along, we're using AMP Code, and we're using that in place of Claude Code. And typically I would use Opus for planning. And in this case, in AMP Code, they have a feature called Oracle, which does its planning as well. And it can search through the code base. And so one of the strengths of AMP Code is its ability to kind of search through your code base really quickly. Has a lot of extra sauce that they do on the back end for their own indexing and everything. And so it looks like it says it successfully generated an image, but I don't get any other information. Like I don't see what's going on. Oh, it still says generating at the bottom. Okay, that's interesting. So 529. Yeah, so it doesn't say, it still says generating here down below. So I don't know what's the deal. Like if I refresh, theoretically, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I think their image is still coming through. That's the other thing. Okay. Let's just refresh. Oh, here they are. Cool. Wow. I gotta send it to them. I think they'll like it. That's so cool. That's kind of wild that like it took the picture of them eating Mexican food and just like hand drew over it, and even has a drink, and it has like a really cool. Oh my God, that's cute. That's super cute. I love this. This is awesome. Yeah. So I go to upload tab. I can choose a file. What other thing do I want to upload? So we have my dog. I think we had me. And then we also have like my other photo of my dog. And then me holding, oh, this would be good. I want to see if it does anything with my little smoochie. Okay. So now I'm uploading, and this is 2 issues. Upload failed. So I want to see why it upload failed. The request is not allowed by the user agent to perform on the current platform. Oh, console type error load failed. Interesting. Okay, so why did the load fail? This doesn't show me. So I want to go into Safari and figure out why that failed. Oh, shoot. Oh, it did start the generation. Dang it. I want to see if I can capture any of the errors. Network connection lost. Okay, so somehow the network connection gets lost. So I want to see if it can fix this bug since we have a bug here. So users will have to retry again, but it's kind of like ungraceful as far as like an error. Also, the generation says it's successfully generated, and we don't show the generation in here after it's been generated. Okay, so there are two different bugs here. All right, so since this is done here, I'm going to go ahead and fork this thread for a bug fix because we still have some more context left, and I want to see if we can do some type of bug fixing here. So I'm going to fork this so far, and then what I'll do is I'll stage the changes. So far we have like this works as far as like, hey, we have our first changes, so I want to make sure I check them in. So and like I want to just make sure those get checked in, sync changes. Okay, so I'm going to still it. I want you to update the documentation that we have so far because we just did a first try and it looks like it works, but we still need to work on some polish here. When an image is uploaded, sometimes there may be an error in the background like what is shown here, but it isn't really clear to the user that something has happened or that they should retry again. The second error that we're seeing is that if there is an image that's being generated on the server, we'll see that something was successfully generated, but the UI won't show that placeholder image with the image being generated. So if there's something that we can do here to make this a better experience for the user on the front end, we should be able to do that. So I need you to look through the code base and check for any new regressions that could have happened as a result of this change. And let's go ahead and get that documented so we can fix it. Okay, so we have that there, and I have like the server error, or front end error, and then this is okay. I think that's it. I don't want to confuse it too much. So that'll be that there. So we're doing that. All right, cool. Ray, you're giving it a go. AMP seems to be my main right now. CC as a backup for sure. Yeah, I mean, I can see why. So I've just been so frustrated with Claude Code. I mean, it is so slow now, like so slow, so unreliable that like, oh, it's painful. And I just came up with this new way of like making features and documentation, which is what I'm showing you so that I can keep track of the progress of things. And it's really, I have all my Claude.md files. So I invested so much energy into it. I didn't really want to change, but now is like the time to change for me. So I'm like actually looking at what are some high quality, agents that can actually help us with that. So AMP code has been on my playbook since like February, right? And I'm just kind of now getting around to it. And the folks over at SourceGraph, have given me a couple $100 in credits for me to kind of burn through it and try this out. And so I said, like, why not do this live? And this is literally like my own opinion, unbiased, like no one's paying for this other than, me getting some access to some credits like that. But I think it's really cool to, like for me, I miss the O3 model for planning, and AMP code has that. And that's the thing called the Oracle, right? So that's what's really cool for me. Is Oracle as good as Cursor's Opus plan? It seems to be on par for the features I want to ship. So that's pretty cool. And it's using Claude Sonnet, it looks like, underneath the hood for writing the code. I'm really impressed at the speed, to be honest. Like it's so fast compared to what I was using in Claude Code. I was using Cursor for this very reason, because of the speed, right? Because of the understanding of the code base for doing this type of thing. Cursor is, has background. You have access to background agents as long as you're paying $20 a month. So you would just pay an API cost to use O3 as a background agent, or you can pay the API cost if you're paying the $20 a month plan to do a similar planning feature. But for me, like, who's going to win out? Is the Cursor one for planning using O3, or is Agents one, the Oracle one? The Oracle thing has this new, Agents.md file that we actually had it write out, which is really, really cool. So what is it saying now? So it's basically uploading our spec document. Oh, I see. It just updated our spec doc for what was planned. Okay. So this is what we planned. This is what we did. And this is our current progress. Okay. So it's updating all of our progress so far. So it moved. Okay, great. And what is it doing now? I'm just kind of curious. So let's see what it's written so far. So this is the doc. And so proposed fixes for the front end. Okay. So now Summary. See, the initial implementation landed a basic ETE works, client-side compression, transcoding, convex uploading, generated images appear in the gallery. During QA, we observed 2 UX gaps and 1 intermittent upload error, Safari iOS. The doc tracks regressions, hypothesis, and the plan for polish in the UX. This is really cool. Let me move my head a little bit so you can kind of read a little bit what's going on. And so it says observed issues here. It says no gallery placeholder while generating is pending. Behavior evidence, we filter generated issues only see it's just filtered. We have a global spinner badge. Likely the gallery is fed by generated images while the original images with generate is false. Generation status is pending is excluded. So upload error is clearly not actionable for users. So the fetch API cannot load convex storage URL due to access control checks, network connection loss type error. So evidence QA provided console logs. I like how I'm QA for my own product and it's like kind of taking that into the instruction set, but I like that this is being documented. So the documentation is super important for me because if I want to hand this off to a background agent now, the background agent can kind of chew on this and see examples of previous testing. So I might make it even like testing folder because if I have a lot of these different tests, eventually in the future, what I'm going to go ahead and do is just point an AI agent in a new chat and say, can you look through all of these different files where I've done this testing and generate like a basic test plan? So I want you to do a first pass test plan that on every commit, I want you to run these checks because we've been running these checks and we've been finding regressions and these are like showstoppers for us, right? So this is kind of how we categorize our QA testing is by like us actively testing. You don't have to be worried about spelling out every single feature you're testing, but make sure you document it and write it to a file. Later on, that's where we're going to do some QA planning. So I'll have a dedicated live stream for that to help us with QA planning because we can literally just take all of our previous tests that's been documented and make our own little test plans. And then we can use either an agent to help us test or figure out a testing framework to do those types of things. I am kind of a mixed bag of writing unit tests because right now in MVP stage, things are going to be torn out and thrown away so quickly that, you know, it's kind of a waste of tokens to write the unit tests. It's much more higher value reward to go through the UI and test and find those problems and iterate and fix them because it's possible that UI may not exist anymore or some of these conventions may be thrown away completely. So that's kind of my current stance right now on kind of the way I'm looking at these types of things here. Bill's about to get a kick at the second FG of the game or the Billy's miss. Okay, I'm not watching the game right now, obviously. Okay, cool. So we have this here. This is a really nice thing. So it looks like we have our proposed fixes and then we have the actionable errors and then keep the UI busy and propose fixes for the backend. No backend changes strictly required. Okay, add a short-lived, slightly longer signed URL duration if we confirm the expiration. Okay, regression check. This is nice. Damn. Let's go ahead and continue. This is great. So you even added the spec for what we're doing. This is fire. Okay, so what does the chat say what they want to do? Okay. So highlights. Documented the 2 UX gaps. Okay, built. Now I can implement the placeholder retry UX. Okay, yes. Yes, please continue with the placeholder and retry UX and the different issues that are mentioned in the progress file upload thing. Okay. Oops. Cool. So I think we have those docs. I want to go ahead and make sure I check those in as well while it's doing its work. This is really fun. Yeah. So basically now what we have so far, that's super cute. It basically transformed the dog, my dog that I was holding into like a cartoon version of the schnauzer. This is, I like this upload feature. Like this upload feature should probably be on by default, right? I could just say upload. And we obviously it's going to be probably better looking. So we, yeah, let me try this one. This would be kind of cool. Unable to access camera device. Okay. Oh, I know why. Because I'm still writing code and it recompiles the app. Let me just stop this real quick. And then let me just kind of let this do its thing here. Because it's still writing features in. So I don't want to test it yet until it's done. All right, cool. That is super cute. Yeah, if you guys want to test it, let me go ahead and see if I can get you the link right now. Because that'd be kind of fun to test out. See, drip me out. Fiverr sell app. So I think this is the actual app right now. Don't allow. Oh, the upload feature is actually there too right now. Cool. So yeah, the upload feature is currently live and kind of broken. So yeah, it's free to sign in right now. You can use my API key basically, and everyone's using it to generate their own images. And it's doing some really fun stuff here, as you can possibly see. You know, all this cool things here. Yeah, load more. Very cool. What I find funny is like whatever objects you're holding up, like to me, it feels so surreal, like that it does this cool stuff, right? These were like selfies. Like this is cool with the Rubik's Cube, right? The iPod thing is really cool, especially with like the expressive, like little happy face and stuff. Yeah, my microphone. Like this is my favorite one with the Yeti cup. That's just so cool with the Hawaiian Islands. Amazing. It's amazing how smart the image model is because it has so much context about the world and things, right? Let's see, page. All right, cool. So what is it doing? It's writing a bunch of changes to the code. It found some errors. It's doing this set upload is preparing thing. So I know Convex has a lot of this stuff for the queries built in. It's doing, let's see, okay. Upload error. Okay, it's preparing. See, I feel like this is already done in code somewhere. Like we don't have to write this out like through a library. But we're still in MVP phase. Let's see what's going on. Retry upload. It says upload failed, result status, image generation. Your image is being enhanced with AI. You can refresh and it'll continue background. Duration 4 seconds. You reach your daily monthly limit. Oh. What is this? Users don't need to know about this. Clear selection on success. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we need that. Testing and validation. I want to see if I can give it. Okay. Users should not know about my Gemini API quota exceeded because that's something for me as a backend developer. The users are only concerned about uploading their images, and it's really strange that we're doing that. Also, aren't there existing libraries that handle some of this type of error scaffolding that we don't have to write ourselves on the client side? And I also want you to look into the various Convex conventions on the web, because I think we are writing too much code here and we should keep it dry. DRY. Just kind of curious to see how it handles this. Okay, build clean warnings, next QA. Okay, so let me just stage these changes. Let me just bun dev this. Let's see. Whoops, cancel. Yo, this is crazy. That's awesome. People are already uploading images. Let's go to upload. Yo, these are fire. Damn, that's cool. Look at that. Oh, that's dude, start. Oh, that's what I should do. I should get brands, like find people doing stuff like Starbucks and have Starbucks tag me, or have like Starbucks retweet my images. Yo, that's crazy. Cause that'd be so, that's, bro, this is sick. This is crazy right here, right? Like this is fire. This is so fire. This is crazy. I love this. Damn. Damn, that's cool. This is such a vibe. This is such a vibe. Yeah. I love this whole thing. Yeah. This is cool. So yeah, we forked this project and it's doing some really good sauce. All right, so let's see what it's doing right now. I just want to read its thinking output now. Let's see. To keep things dry, I plan to create a new file, upload client TS, and upload retry with function. The function should handle the generation URL. I also need to update the documentation to indicate that we won't show Gemini quota anymore. Might be a good idea to integrate Convex conventions by using internal mutation, insert a pending placeholder document. Yes. Yeah, that seems about right. First, I'll create an upload schedule function. Update the documentation with the dry approach, ensuring no server error details leak through. I'll also run a build implementation. Okay, this sounds about right. So now it's basically sort of doing a refactor now. I don't know if this refactor is going to be useful, but we'll see. Huh. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So it's removed all this code, which I like. Await import upload schedule. Yes. This is probably going to go on the Convex side. I love all this code that's being removed. Okay. It's removing the quota error stuff too. Let's go in here. Yes. Much cleaner. Your image is being processed. Duration 4 seconds. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. Bun run build. Yeah, it's just fixing all the different build errors now. It's basically fixing all the any stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay. I think we should be good after this. This is a much cleaner. I love all the code that it removed. Okay, this is really good. Stage changes. Upload and reschedule. File upload spec. For polish, looks good. We've updated this. What is it doing here now? Okay. And in here, we're basically now just doing upload by ID, new images, starts with validation. Okay, this looks good. Retry upload. This looks better. And then we have the prepared. Okay, so handle the backend errors, remove the backend error leakage, replace quoted specific toast and camera, and then dried up the upload spec logic into this. So this is now into like one specific area. So it's a small helper dry upload schedule flow with a single query on network errors, no external dependencies, uses fetch and mutations passed in. So this is really cool. This is a really nice helper file. So that way all of our messages are kind of contained in one area and not duplicated throughout. So it's just easier to update in the future. And all of the logic is in there. Okay, cool. So kept Convex conventions, still using upload plus post schedule mutation. Here's some spec polishes. Cool. So now we just got to test this thing out. So I'm going to just kill it, run dev, and then we'll try it again. I just tried it. Looks great. Oh, cool. Yeah. Doom, multitasker, neither builds. Okay. Y'all are crazy right now watching the game. So many questions in the prompt. Yeah. Let's see. These agents can really handle it. Pikachu. That's wild. All right, let's see. Localhost. Upload. Man, this is really cool. You guys are really like pushing this thing. Cool. Awesome. Sweet. Okay. Let's go ahead and see if I can upload like one more of my dog or something. Yeah, this would be really cool. So all of these are under like 5 megabytes, which is cool. And I think it's just doing its thing. And so cool. Image generations. I like this. This is really nice. This is a really good update. So I like that it shows the placeholder image and that it's queued. This is a really good experience. Bro, this fix is fast. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. Okay. This is a really nice fix. Jesus. AMP code is cooked. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna check these changes, and these are fire changes right now. Yo, I like this iteration cycle. We really have come together to kind of ship this super fast. And so for those who aren't aware, basically now, this is like too fun, man. This is so addictive. I'm just getting started. I wanted to go to the beach today, but I just started vibe coding. And where are we at? How many hours are we in? 1 hour and a half? Okay, cool. Yeah, y'all cooking right now. So. And then the next thing I want to do is like a bunch of styling changes, but that'll be in the future here. So I want to see if I can, this is crazy. It seems to be a lot faster to me. I don't know if it is for you. So let's go ahead and see if I can get my friend, get me, get her. Yeah, let me try this one again. So I'm going to try this one. I'm going to go upload and generate. So I like this generation, this queue thing. If I go like refresh, theoretically it should stay refreshed. Yeah, processing. Okay, cool. Yeah, and it's already done. So now it's going to push it back. I see it from my server logs, theoretically. Successfully generated. Processing. Come on. Okay. I think there's a bug. Let's see, is there any? Go back to upload. Oh, okay. Whoa. Wow. Okay. Dang. Whoa. This is cool. Yeah. It's so fun how fast this works. If I hit share on X, it's going to actually put the image. Yeah. I'm going to share it from my local host. But yeah. Okay, cool. So the changes should be live soon, I think, because it should already be done building. Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah. Oops. All right. Don't allow. Upload. Whoa. This is fun. Okay. So let's see. Yo, Dawson, thank you so much for reposting the stream. That's awesome. I streaming pretty much everywhere. Okay, y'all are still watching the game. Okay, cool. All right, so let's kind of rewrap a little bit of kind of what we've done so far. We've been doing a lot of different things and just kind of summarize where we're at. So theoretically, on my phone, if I go to that website, I should be able to kind of see what's going on. So let's see. If I go to our site on my phone, I'm just going to go to there right now. So as of now, basically saying, do you want to be allowed the camera? Cancel. So I basically should be able to see my new website. And now I see like the images that I've generated so far. So if I go into here, I could see that and I can kind of cancel it out, right? Go at X. And then now I see a cute image. So somebody else had uploaded an image, and because it's Convex, it's all reactive. Anyone who's watching right now and is going to this website literally just saw this at the same time, all being generated. This is so wild. And like, that's so cool, right? So like that image that they uploaded, we just saw in real time. Like this is the power of like, this is kind of why Convex is so cool. It's like everyone who's connected at the same time will literally see all these images being uploaded. And so like you can see like even, is somebody else upload another image? Yeah. Dang! Somebody took a screenshot of me during the live stream and they're like literally, y'all are funny. This is, I'm really curious now to see what the generation is going to come up with. This is so crazy. Bro, y'all are uploading stuff. Look at this. That's wild. Yo, this is so fun. Oh my God. LOL. Look at the rooster. That's so fire. Bro, the image, the drawing. Yeah, that is super cool. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is really fun. I think I think I might just like leave the image default. Yeah, sorry for Pikachu in the screenshot. No worry. I love the screenshot. So what I want to do on my phone is that like now I want to go to where it says like image upload. So if I go to select the file and I go to photo library, now I should be able to select a photo from my library. So what's really cool is that like my friends here, they have a new puppy and they were just all kind of hanging out with the new puppy. So I'm going to see if I can select one of the images of the puppy like in the basket because it was just looking at me and it's being super cute. So theoretically, I should be able to get this guy and do the phone upload test because I want to test from the phone to see how that turns out. So now it's actually, I see somebody else generating one of a rooster. That's cool. So I'm going to hit upload and generate, and then I'm going to see kind of what's going on there. So now it's currently uploading, I think. And then now I see the queue. So now you see mine is in the queue as well. This is kind of fun. I love the social aspect that everyone's kind of doing this at the same time. And it's live, like it's literally live. This is fast. This is super cute. Oh, look at that. Oh, I got to send it to my friends. They're going to melt. Yeah. So this is the test. If I send it to my friends right now who are over there by the pool, and they could just, if they like it, I'm going to see if I can. So if I long press it, I actually be able to like now save to photos. I'm going to see save to photos or copy it. And then I'm going to go ahead and text it to them to see if they like it or not. And I'm just curious to see what they say. Because if the reaction is like they love it or anything like that, they should be able to tell me. So yeah, I just sent it to them, and it should be pretty cool. Yeah, I think it's pretty fun that like you can have a lot of fun with this type of stuff, and kind of get that reaction of like, because it's like, I think that's the other thing too. It's like I'm trying to cross the boundary between like, for an app like this, because it's a hand drawing and it's only like specific items and it's very expressive and very random. It's not like, it's kind of like walking up to someone on the street and those people who draw those caricatures you don't tell the artist how to draw you. You just sit down in a chair and they draw you, right? So this is kind of a similar idea. And it's more geared towards people uploading their images or taking a photo, right? So for me, I think what I want to do next is maybe make the photo upload the default one. I like this gallery view, which is really fun because now other people can see examples of the gallery. And the gallery thing is really interesting in and of itself as far as that type of thing. But I think so far, it's been pretty fun to see what people are doing right now. So you can kind of see, I've had to do nothing. Like this is all reactive, and this is all part of why I use Convex, because Convex has a lot of this stuff built in. So it looks like somebody uploaded another photo or something. I see another one coming in, and we should be able to see it, I think, over here. I'm going to refresh the page because I think I have no clue how many people are actually uploading and using this thing. So what I could do is I can try to take a look and see how many users I've got so far. So y'all playing too much right now. Y'all playing too much. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is take a look at my users and see what's come up in here. So I have 27 users so far. Dang, that's awesome. So yeah, Convex is, Clerk is currently showing me I have 27 users so far. And so 27 users have signed up for the app, which is pretty awesome. Like it's currently free. That's pretty chill. It's really interesting how it randomly like puts something into the photograph there. Yeah. Damn, this is actually really fun. It's the same picture, just testing. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no worries. I feel like anyone who's here on the stream who wants to test it out, I think this is like a really fun time to do that. This is my favorite one though. These are fire. Yeah. I like this one too, because it's like, this is what they were eating, and it's expressive in a very different way, right? Like, I'm holding an avocado and it actually like cuts avocado in half and shows this type of thing. This is just funny, like this is so weird. Yeah, it's also random too, right? So like I choose a file again. I could choose like this one. Let's see, maybe I'll choose another one. Yeah, smooch by itself. Or this one. Let's see. Yeah, let's try this one again. I'm just curious. Generate. Yeah, I feel like the recent bug that AMP fixed made this way more reliable. Like this is really good. Like it shows this, and then it shows this little thing overlaid. And when it comes, that's cute. See, this is way better. Wow, that's so cute. Yeah, that is adorable. Oh, that's so cute. I love this. It's the new nano image model from Google is super fire. Like it is so impressive how good this thing is and how fast it is. Yeah, this is really awesome. All right, cool. So what do we have so far? We have, we basically have been able to cook super hard with this. And what's happened so far is that now I have this app. I can upload the images. I can now go like to my users and friends and like start uploading different photos like from social media or whatever, and just like send that back to them and say, hey, check this out. So I have a couple different things to do. I need to, for this app, this is day 3, right? So I'm trying to basically make a viral app, and this is me building it from scratch live. So you're watching this whole live stream. If you're watching this on YouTube, and you can watch this back later on, I'm going to have timestamps for all the different videos. These are people uploading images right now. And what you can do is basically upload an image, and it's going to add this really cool, like whimsical, like anime style drawing. It's like super cute, what you can get for these types of things. So it turns like an image that you have into like a whole different reality in some fun way. And to me, this is really expressive and fun. And I can see different styles. So like I can update the styles to do like a different thing. So if people are getting really tired of this style, I was talking to an artist here in Hawaii, and I was like, hey, I'd love to see if I can partner with you so that, maybe we can actually like have an artist that is like featured, and their style will be implemented in all the art, for that people's images. And so one, it brings awareness for the artists because now their artwork is being placed everywhere. And then 2, like they can actually get a whole cut of the licensing for like this type of thing. So it's like, hey, for every image that's generated, you're going to get like, 50% or something like that, or more, right? Like it's their artwork. And so they themselves would not be able to draw that many pieces of art. But if people are so inspired and they like it and they want to put it on their stuff, it's going to just show up this way. And it's kind of cool because now the artist gets way more exposure, and then they can get paid, right? If users pay like $5 to, generate like 100 images, but maybe these images, for this artist cost like more or something, it's $10 for the same amount or more, then like the artist gets a better benefit because it goes directly to them, right? And they're meeting more people or getting more introduced to their artwork than normally wouldn't happen. So I think it's a really interesting phenomena of like kind of what I'm tapping into here. One is that like artists have their own communities, and if they want to spread more of their art to more people, I think this can be an interesting first look at far as like where I could be going with this. It's very viral because communities are viral in its nature. So just kind of tapping into that type of thing. Artwork is really fun. It's really entertaining. This generates so fast and is extremely reliable that it could be really useful to, to have like an app like this to share. And there's a lot of feelings to your own personal photos that you can kind of do stuff like this with. And so I think that's a really good first step. So we're only at day 3, right? So the next step is like, here is to maybe clean up some of the UI, clean up some other things. But I also want to go to physically now go to the beach, take pictures of people and like show them what I can do. It's like, can I take a group picture with you and see what comes out? So yeah. Ray, I just found out that it's not taking in wide pictures. So it's like I had to crop your couch in the picture. Oh, I see. So when you say wide, like actual like lengthen or something like that, because this is really interesting. I want to see if I can maybe chat with the Oracle and try to see if I can fix this bug, because that'd be a really interesting bug to fix. So what I want to go ahead and do is going to go to the Oracle. And so some users are reporting that they're not able to upload any wide images. Can you take a look in my code and see why? Okay. Whoops. Cool. So I'm going to have it do its little debugging. Yeah, thank you for that bug, that feedback. That's really cool. Yeah, it's like 1920 by 280. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll definitely have to see why, because it should be able to do it. Yeah. Huh. Awesome. And this is really fun. I like this project a lot. Bro, these images are hilarious, bro. Man, this is fire. This is so fire right now. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So what does it say? Allowed inputs. Is there a cap? Let's see what change did it do? It didn't really do anything. It just changed the web P. Is there a constraint here? Okay, there's a lot of repeated code. Why is it doing that? Stop. I'm going to revert these changes. Okay. I'm going to just create a new chat. Users are reporting, a regression where if they have 1920 by 18, hold on, 1920 by 1080. Okay, yeah. Images to upload, it doesn't allow them. Can you check my code as to why? And okay, so then I also want to reference the features stuff that I was building. So where I was building this, it was in the documentation. So this is part of work in file upload spec, file upload progress. It actually uploads but disappears. I see. Okay. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah. Yeah. The user says it actually uploads but disappears. Retry. Error, unclean exit. Share with support. Sure. Okay. Cool. Oh, okay, nice. So they're gonna be taken. Okay. So yeah, let's see what it does as far as like understanding what this is. So it's now just reading all my files and then thinking through why this could be happening. The key point is for ensuring everything works as expected. So open the file and investigate. So it's now looking into here as to why that could be the issue. And now it's looking at my schema. And then what else is doing in my schema? New fields for sharing. Okay. Yeah. Thinking. Seems a combined images component, including pending and processing states. The image overlay is supposed to show the placeholders, but there's an issue where images disappear. This may relate to how landscape images are handled to our aspect. Ah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's really cool. That's wild. All right, all right. So yeah, this is going to be fixing that there. Bruh. I like this because I don't know about you, but like giving people like a paragraph or 3 paragraphs of a prompt to put in for every image is exhausting. It's just easier to tell people to just upload an image. What I also want to do is just want to have upload image set by default and then camera like something later. So don't allow, yeah. So I think that's what I'll do because like I feel like it's easier to upload an image. So yeah, this is doing its thing here. And so yeah, I'm really curious to see like now that we have this going on, can I give this task to Klein and have it like fix a bug or do something like this in a similar way? So I want to show you Klein, and I want to show you what Klein did with like, because Klein is using Kimi K20905, which is the latest model, and it's really, really fast. But yeah, I mean, I've been super impressed. I have Grok hooked up to it. So the Grok for inference is ridiculously fast, and I'm able to speed through a lot of different things. So I'm really curious to see what this is going to do for our code generation. So image data generation failed, and then it's going to have some type of status update. This is actually really cool because it's actually following our Convex conventions. So let's see, you need to disable some. Okay, cool. So investigate the upload disappearance on identity and then fix migration mime type, and then ensure remain visible in the gallery with a clear failure overlay. Okay, cool. So this is looking pretty good so far. Yeah, so I'm going to wait on that for a bit while this is doing its thing because it's almost done. Yeah, it's kind of random, right? It's kind of like why is it doing certain things? But I don't know. I feel like whatever I charge, it should be very generous. Like you should be able to just generate lots of images or have it try, like maybe have a try again button overlaid on it, huh? Yeah. Let's see. There's another one that's being uploaded, I guess. I refresh. Okay. This is wild. This is so wild. Y'all are crazy right now. Okay, next QA action to confirm. All right, so let me check this code in so that way I can ship it over to J35 to see if we can fix it. But let me just review it real quick. I'm just going to close this tab out real quick. So what we did is processing or failed. And so if the image is generated and is any of these states, what we do is then pass in this constant. And this is for the page here. Okay, so we flip through whatever this is a really nice actual implementation. Or failed, const all, processing or failed. All it did was just rename it, huh? Really? Is that what it just did? For real? If it's not generated and images generated, bro, are you kidding me, bro? It says pending, processing, or failed. Okay, so we add the failed state. That's why. Okay, there is possible that it could be a failed state. So it's not really clear what's happening now after failed state. So if it does fail, let's say generation failed. Can we just do a retry? I think that's what happens. Okay, so now I find out what the bug is. So the bug was whenever it failed, that's probably why it just disappeared and never just showed the failed state. So maybe I can have another button on top of that. I'll just add it onto this feature. It's like, let's go ahead beyond the failed. Let's go ahead and see if we can have a retry. And if it fails on the second retry, we can show the user saying, you know, that you can try one more time, or it's just like going to try again or something like that, or try uploading the image again. I think that's probably why this makes more sense as far as like why it didn't show up. So we just needed to update the actual string that shows the failed state. Yeah. Which its own thing. Okay, I'll do that right now. This is cool. I like building features on the fly and people testing it out right now in real time. So this is actually very, very helpful because this is like everyone's doing QA for us. So this is really cool. And you get free access to the app right now. So this is really fun. Okay, so theoretically, I've just checked those changes in. They should be pushing up soon. But we can try again. So yeah, this one's where it says, bro, okay, a lot of those say generation failed. Oh, I see. Now they'll show failed. I see. Gemini did not include image data. Okay, so now the failed images are showing up. But I don't really want them to show up in the gallery. Okay, so maybe that's what I'll do. As far as like in the gallery, I don't want the failed images to show up. I only want the ones that are actually successful. But okay, that's another thing. In the gallery, it's great that I could see the failed images show up. But I kind of don't want them to be visible in the gallery because I'm seeing a lot of failed images back to back. And it'd be better if we filtered them out in a different view or maybe in a tab so that users can select the failed images. But no, actually, here's what I want to do. I'm just going to escape all that whole thing. I was like, I think if we have a failed image, we should try one more time to process it. And if not, we can actually just put that in a separate tab to show that the image failed and the user can go review it in that tab. And if the user goes to the tab to review the failed image, they can click a button to retry the processing again. And if it is successful, then we'll move it out of the failed image area. Cool. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, we'll see. Can you see how much the 64 images cost so far? Let's see. Let's see. Google Gemini. Let's see. Gemini Nano image API cost. Let's see. This is, by the way, all of the image processing and everything that's being done is supported by members like you. So everyone who's been paying that $14.99 to become a Discord member, thank you so much, because that's actually supporting these ventures. It's supporting, if somebody doesn't give me credits or anything for their API, like I'm, paying out of pocket. And so I really appreciate anyone who's been able to do that. If you want to check out the Discord, it's currently pinned in my chat. If you're in the live chat for YouTube, it's rfer.me/Discord. And that's how you're going to be able to get in. So https://rfer.me/Discord. And so on here is going to be the way that you're going to be able to access the Discord, by the way. And so, yeah, definitely appreciate it. It's just $14.99 a month. You get to join other people who are building alongside. You get access to early access videos, the stuff that I'm publishing week to week. And get to hang out in the Discord. So it's currently a private thing. So definitely appreciate that. So let's go take a look at the pricing right now. So I have, as of now, I have a paid tier. So in the standard here, I have a paid tier per million token USD. Output price, including thinking tokens. So context, let's see, nano image. So I think it's nanobanana image preview. Google Flash image preview. I think this is it, right? Nano. Okay, so it's Gemini 2. Flash, aka nanobanana. Okay, so that's this one. That's this one here. Okay, so it's 30 cents per image. Oh my god. Oh wait, hold on. Input price. Okay, this makes no sense. Paid tier is per 1 million tokens in USD is 30 cents per text/image. And output price is 3 cents or 4 cents per image. Used to improve product. No. So the free tier is not available. So image output is priced $30 per 1 million tokens. Output price to this. Oh my God. I'm just letting people YOLO my account. Holy smokes. Okay, I might have to shut it down soon. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, I also want to check out like the console and see what's like. It's okay. I don't know. Like I feel y'all are worth it. Okay. Have you tried Fal.ai? They have a great collection. Oh yes, I need to try Fal. Yeah. So for whatever reason, all my failed images are grouped at the top. Okay. Yeah, I think what I should do is oh, I know why. Because I had these down here before. This is here. Yeah. Okay. So this is what I want to do. I want to update like the failed image thing here. So let's see what happens in the development environment. So here is what they're saying. Thinking, plan, small, minimal diff. Okay. See fix the disappearing. Request to proceed. To add the failed tab with working retry button, one-time auto retry, back end, front end. This requires regenerating convex types. Yes. Approve and I'll implement it. The plan looks good. Please implement it. Okay, cool. Yeah, you should be able to implement it here. I'm going to quit this and then retry again. Okay, this is really cool. Yeah, let's take a look at Fal.ai real quick. So now we're just kind of hanging out. Fal.ai. Okay. Beach. I miss you, beach. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow I'll go to the beach because usually on the weekends it's kind of crazy, especially out in Lanikai. There's like so many cars and everything. So yeah, we're kind of catching. It's 6:18 right now. Like it's kind of sun is setting. The light looks really good. I love this quality on the cameras and stuff. Yeah, so that's up. Or if I remember YouTube, can I join the Discord? Yes, you can join the Discord. So the Discord is for the first 100 members who joined. So the first 100 members, that happened back in July. So when I was doing in July, if you're like the first 100 members, you're able to join to the Discord. And you'll see a bunch of my old live streams basically saying like you can get access, but it was basically for the first 100 members. And then I've converted everything over to Polar because the work that I had to do for the first 100 members, I had to manually onboard by hand. And that's something that's just not feasible going forward, especially with YouTube. Because YouTube doesn't have any like real support to link. You know, they have the only thing that they link up is if your YouTube account is linked up to your Discord. Then they'll do that. And there's a lot of complications from people who were trying to do that before. So now I just use Polar. And so to preserve the people who are my first 100 members, they paid $6.99 to get in. Now it's all like $14.99. So this is kind of the current price for it. And then once we reach that next, 100 member threshold, which is about 40 more members away, we're going to bump it to like, $29.99 a month. So right now you can get in if you just tap in the link there. And then, so like the way that the perks are going to be working is that YouTube has its own little membership thing. So you can use emojis and all these different things that I'm going to go ahead and add here in the future. The second part is, YouTube has its like things in the stream, right? You have your like name and rankings and so forth. But the Discord thing is going to be like, it's basically its own little thing right here. And so the Discord is going to be, interacting with other people and that sociability, which I really like. So that's going to allow me to, like all this stuff basically funds hiring editors and doing different things for the channel, which I appreciate. So that's what we're kind of doing that there. So yeah, that's what's up. They have AI models to, so Fal is cool. They have VO, Cling, and this is kind of where I also want to go with this too in the future. And so yeah, Fal is wild. So they have 50% off for VO3. So you can do text to video and then like image to video. And I think this is like, you can take an image like this and like do some type of animation like this. That's so crazy. Does it have the sound?
Video on Fal. It's incredible. Have you guys checked out VO3 image to video on Fal? It's incredible.
Yo, should we try this out?
Have you guys checked
Let's try this out. I'm gonna grab one of these images from my app and then just put it in here and see if we can do anything with it. Like for example, I think there's like some funny ones here. Like, yeah, maybe like I'll try one with a dog. Or let's see, should I try one with me? I'll try with this dog. Let's see, I'll just let's see, download image downloads. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm gonna go ahead and sign in to run. This is so crazy. This is new image to video. Input is a form. Okay. Yeah, because if I can choose an image URL, so choose. Oh, cool. So let me go ahead and see if I could sign in to run. because I think that'll probably be the easiest. Continue with Google. Yeah, let's see. Because I think I have some credits from Fal already. So like I bought a bunch of credits a long time ago. Hopefully, yes, I have $100. Heck yeah, sweet. Yeah, you know I sign up for these things and I totally forget from time to time what I have in here. Okay, cool. Let's choose one of these images. So I think in the downloads, I'm just gonna drag this in here. So I have my little doggy, and then I don't know what this is. Oh, okay. Choose. Okay. So I just have this image of my dog. A woman looks in the camera, breathes, and then exclaims energetically, "Have you checked out VO3? It's incredible." Okay. A schnauzer looks into the camera and talks to you like a normal human, and then exclaims, Fernando is the best AI live stream coder in the world. You should like and subscribe. Okay, cool. So let's just see what happens here now. Let me just go ahead and run it. So are there any more settings? We went to 8 seconds resolution. Okay, that should be cool. So this is basically the new VO3 fast image to video model, and it's now 50% price drop. So generate images from your videos from your images using VO3. And so, okay, this should be pretty cool. And okay, there are some issues with fix the input values and try again. So I don't know what the actual issue is. So what are the input values? The content cannot be processed because it can take flag. What's flagged? What is flagged about this? Yeah, live stream coder. You should like and subscribe. I don't know why it's flagged. Makes no sense. Like, is it maybe like a claim or something? I really have no clue. That's so weird. The thing with Fal, it's like one API can access like 600 models. Yes. Yeah. What the heck? Okay. You should like and subscribe. I don't understand why it's failing. This is just like makes no sense because I basically took their system prompt and kind of said almost the same thing, you know? I don't like that's so weird. 3 cents on replicates, sent details in the Discord. Okay. Yeah. So you mean like the cost for generating images is 3 cents with the same image model that I'm using with Google, but like, is it cheaper on Fal? Is that what you're saying? That's really interesting. Yeah. I really don't know. Yeah. That's wild. Let's see. Because I want to animate that image. Because that could be our next step. Did it failed more images? Let's see. Okay, so it looks like it's actually generating the video. It would have failed outright if it didn't really like it. So we'll come back to that when it's kind of sort of done, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's gonna be doing its thing in the background. Okay, we'll let it do its thing. So this is now implementing my new feature that I was asking for. So auto retry once and then a dedicated manual failed tab retry. So let's just take a look at that. Let's see how that code's looking. So let me just dev this thing. Okay. So this is a nice change. What did it do? Auto retry when, yeah, maybe retry once. I like how it says maybe, like who writes that? Manual retry from UI. Oh, this is nasty. I don't like this code. Auto retry once via mutation that increments and then reschedules. Okay. Yeah. What are we doing here? Define the schema pending. Okay. This is the new field. And then in the page, what do we do here? Failed image. Oh yeah, we overlay that thing. Okay, so let me retry. Let's see. It costs 3 cents on Fal too. Okay. Failed. Okay, that's cool. So, all right. So this is doing its thing. Okay. In the now that we have this, we shouldn't show the failed images in the main gallery. Okay. Because I think, yeah, it's cool that this is here, but now I think we can just say Gemini response didn't include any image data. Yeah, so these are all the ones that were uploaded and failed, which is cool. And then, yeah, because it's basically kind of acts like a filter. So now, yeah, we're filtering out the pending. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So now we only show the successful ones here, and then the failed ones would just be here. Yeah. And I think the other thing is that in the failed tab, we should only show failed. Okay. This failed tab should also just only show failed. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's looking pretty good so far. Yeah, so what is it doing? So it's a filter. Yeah, so all we're filtering is for pending and image generation status processing. And then for the failed ones, we'll just show failed. And so in the failed tab, confirm that only shows failed images. Okay. Let me refresh this. Let me rebuild. Run dev. Cool. Sweet. Yeah. Okay, upload. These are looking good. And then I go to failed. These are only, and so I noticed that, okay, so this will show failed at the very top. And then it's also showing the gallery at the bottom. Okay. Okay, I get it now. So upload would just show here. Yeah, that's cool. That works, I guess. So if I go into the bigger view, I should see failed. Oh, I see. So because I'm doing, see, that's kind of what's weird on mobile. That's kind of cool, actually. Failed would show here. So it failed. So failed. And I could just say, for example, this one, I could just say retry. And then, yeah. Okay, cool. Oh, possibly because it's denied permission. Ah, okay. So now show more. This is the actual error. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, it worked. One failed. Yeah. So this is, I actually found a different error. And so I'm going to check these changes in because these are already looking pretty good. And then I'm going to try to fix this bug now. All right. So can you update the documentation with what we've done so far? Because this is already looking pretty good. So this is pretty good. We're almost like, we've got a lot of polish and we still have one more bug to fix. So while that's doing that, I think I could just run another agent. So I ran into an issue when I was processing a failed image, and this is what I got. Oh, this is kind of, I'm going to try to kill the convex thing. Bonx, convex. And so this is already updating our spec doc in here with like actives implemented. Okay. And then what else is it doing here? Failed to upload originals from main gallery. So this is just updating the current spec documentation. And then as far as conversations, these are the two that I have currently in progress. And one of them is actually trying to fix a bug for me. And this is the bug that's currently trying to fix, which is this one here on the back end. And my app crashed. So I'm just going to make sure that, I'm good. Okay. So what is it doing now? So this is what it's doing. And then I have another one here. So this is now just, and this other one is just updating the documentation. So this is literally just going through and taking a look at all the features we've shipped so far, and then updating the different documentation I have here. So no way you're going back to Claude Code after building features this quick. It's pretty fast. So this is the thing I want to do some more comparisons with. And this is what we're going to see in the next live streams. It's like, how does this compare to using Cursor, right? If I'm using Cursor, what specific model do I select? I love GPT-5 medium, but like it's kind of slow, right? So I like low, right? And the planning part is amazing, right? So do I use AMP for planning? Probably. I really like the planning aspect of it. I use Claude Code Opus for planning, but it would be too slow and unreliable. So, I don't know, like this feature isn't also really crazy, but it's very intricate and detailed, right? We have a front end, we have a back end, we have some image processing for thresholds of sizes, and we're working through these little minor issues, and it's flying through them. When I asked it to do stuff that it's very dry approach, it like said, okay, let me remove the code. I didn't have to be extra specific about it. You know, AMP is really impressive of what it did to like really understand what's happening. We've already had AMP set up all of my different Agent.md files in all the different directories and subdirectories, so it knows about my different rules. So this is already ready to be used with Codex. It's already ready to be used with like background agents in Cursor. I'm ready to fly all over the place, like on the go. So yeah, like this is really interesting. You know, I haven't even done anything yet with Kimi K2 because that's what I was going to do with Grok. But like right now, like I haven't really played with Klein too much to understand how that like Agents.md file stuff works, because I don't think they're one of the people on the list who's adopted that. And so I don't want to rewrite rules again. If I do it, I want to have like a bigger surface area of rules, right? Because I had my Claude.md rules and now I'm migrating to Agents.md. So that's interesting. If you plan spec workflow, maybe you can also try Kiro. Yeah, I don't think I have access to Kiro yet. So if anyone has access, let me know, or can get me access. You want me to commit these documentation changes into the branch, then open a PR? I don't think we need to open a PR, bro. Let's see. I'm going to say these are all the changes. Okay, so what did it do? Generation attempts. Oh, I see. We didn't have generation attempts. That's why. Okay. Okay. Okay, cool. I think we're good. So one of the bugs that we're fixing was add a missing validator for generation attempts to align the query shape for the schema, and updated both the return validators and this. That's why we had an issue earlier. Okay, cool. So let me just check this change in. This should fix that issue now. So localhost. Okay, let's check on that video from VO, by the way.
You should like and subscribe.
That's so random.
You should like and subscribe.
It like keeps the subscribe really soft.
You should like and subscribe.
That's kind of crazy. Like how
You should.
Wow. Try to sign in with builder ID. I see. Wow. Okay, cool. Whoa. What's builder ID mean? Is like builder ID the model? I'm really curious. Okay, let me commit these changes here. So I think this, dude, I'm flying with AMP. This is really fun. Okay, let's see what's going on. Bun dev, and then, whoops, bun dev. And I have my Convex stuff ready. All of these changes are looking pretty good. I'll fix that in a little bit. Okay. Let's load them up. We're loaded fully. Let's go. Okay, don't allow. Okay. All right, upload. Okay, so now I should just be able to theoretically like upload. I go to desktop and I think I go to sample images, right? So if I go here, let's do this one again. Generate an upload. Uploading. Okay, cool. Nice. All right. I like this interface. It's looking pretty good. Queued. Okay. Yo, VO is expensive. I was testing a couple weeks ago and accidentally spent $60. But now with the fast model, like, you see how fast it was? We were able to take one of these images and then add some video to it. So, damn, my queuing takes a little while. Let's see what's up. Yeah, this is interesting.
You should like and subscribe.
It's crazy how it's able to move.
You should like and subscribe.
Wow. Oh, I can even upscale. I'm just going to download this. This is cute. So for every second of video you generate, you will be charged 10 cents for the audio off or 15 cents with audio on. For example, 5-second video with this. Show the logs. No logs yet. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I can only do 8 seconds, I guess, like for the default. This is really cool. And this is partner. I don't know what that means. Partner APIs are hosted by our partners. Oh, okay, okay. Wow. This is cute. Okay. I don't know what's going on with the original stuff. But yeah. I don't know. But this is really cool. I think this is what Sora should have been, if you know what I mean. But yeah. Okay, so we fixed the bug. Is it queued? Okay, so it's stuck queued. I don't know why. Interesting. So we got to see what's going on. So successfully generated image, and then, but it's not really actually showing up as success. That's interesting. So let me just go do some debugging here. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Now that I fixed the missing validator, okay. We need to fix one more regression because it looks like we have successfully generated the image on the back end, but the front end just still shows it as queued. Let me see if I can actually add the image in here. Okay. Because yeah, that's what I was curious about. If AMP will know about like images and stuff and be able to drag and drop images in. So it shows maybe refresh. So I think that's probably the regression here, is because with Convex, you shouldn't need to refresh it. It should just already have this reactive state. So once it changes from pending to success, it should be able to read that value and query it from Convex. And because we have a WebSocket connection, it should be able to read the state of the data in the back end. And then once it does that, it should just change that on the front end. So it's possible it just didn't do the query implementation correctly, or something is going on. So I think this is kind of where it's going to try to see if it can narrow down the bug here. What is it going on? Okay, so what does it say? What? Okay. Oh no, what's going on? Thinking? Okay, yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I'm thinking the issue is, but I don't know if it's going to figure that out. We'll see. I'll let it do its work. I'll let it cook. Yeah. Yeah, that's part of like if I refresh, it's going to probably do the right thing. Don't allow. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, this is very similar to what I had before, but now it's like you're showing like avocado like kind of flying out. Yeah. So whenever I upload images, and so I don't know like how much of it is like local host or not, you know? What's it? It's like refresh. Okay. Don't allow. Okay, upload. So one thing I still have to test is like, how is it going to do when I upload and generate? Okay. So theoretically, yeah. See, now it says image generation started at the bottom. You can refresh page and then generation will continue in the background. And theoretically, the image should say success and then fix itself on the way back. Because I'm like modifying code, it's possible that like it's not. Let's see, what is it saying here now? Sync Bonnex Convex dev. No new code changes. The earlier update included generation tests validators. Stay reload. Okay. I think we're good. Okay. Okay. I'm in this weird state right now where it doesn't say final, no new code changes. Okay. So to do confirm backend validators include this, sync reload, final status, no new code changes in this step. The earlier update to include, okay. Please fix it. Okay. This is weird. AMP code is in a weird state right now where it's like, okay, now it's, okay. What's happening? The validator persists because Convex backend is running a cloud, hasn't synced with the updated validators. Until it syncs the get images will fail the validation in the UI. Keep showing this. Okay. In a terminal, start, wait for the report, reload the app. Your UI shows the overlay. Backend already to do. Okay. So yeah, so I think what I'm going to just do is kind of run dev. Because I checked the changes in. Let me just check this in production. So this should already be live. And I want to see if the fix actually fixed itself. because we see, so these are currently ones that are pending. Yeah, see this like still loading. Okay. This is funny. Let's see here. Let's do this one. Upload and generate. Okay, so we see queued, and theoretically they should move away from queued after a little bit. Let's see. I don't know. We'll see. Because it seems to get stuck in queued is kind of what I was thinking here. Please fix it. Yeah. I think what I'm going to do is just stop it. And I'm just going to go back to say, I'm just going to say here. And I think the problem was that I think I copied the wrong message. Yeah, this is not the problem. I copied the wrong thing in there. That's why. Okay. Copy. I think that was my issue. Okay. So the issue reproduces in production, and it's possible that the front end isn't running the right query to capture the change in state, or we're not changing the state on the Convex database. So you'll have to investigate. And then, okay, cool. So we're basically going back. So in production, you can see it just stays queued where like it should have actually flipped to whatever the image is. And so this is a regression from the changes. Since we touched the state changes, we were dealing with the, the failed states. And so this is kind of why the query thing is not working anymore. And it should be able to look at through as like, oh yeah, I touched this component here from the eRich preview, and then the generate, and then we'll see what's going on here. So thinking about the app page, yeah, has active generations, generating, okay. And app page, cool. Just fixing some bugs. Awesome. Thinking. All right, so how is AMP doing and how we're doing here? Let's see. Does AMP show me anything? Yeah. Okay, so because like AMP has a website. If you go to, here we go. Let's let it do its thing. If I go to AMP, it has like a dashboard. So these are all my threads in here. And this will actually show me on the web what query is happening, so I can actually review them. And this is actually, I think it updates in real time. View usage. Not available yet for an hour old. So yeah, let's go ahead and see if I can go to usage for like other stuff that's an hour old or more. So upload file for implementation. This is like a big implementation that we did. So there's like 6 different conversations, details, usage. So that was $1.20. Okay. So it cost me $1.20 to do like my first implementations, which were like to basically make the spec document. So this is like making the spec document, updating and writing the code. Actually, no, this is the one where I actually implemented the spec document. So this is $1.20 using AMP code. So it's not that bad. Yeah, that was a pretty long conversation. Like I can expand all. Yeah, this is all the stuff that it did. So that was basically $1.20. That was cool. Let's go back to threads. And so let's see, design, mark, optimization is completed. Design upload feature for image processing. So this one is where we actually did the design for the whole feature, where it actually created our markdown document. So this is normally where I would use Claude Opus. And let's see how much this would have cost us. So if I expand all of them, we see this is exactly all the work that I did. And if I go to view usage, that was 53 cents. That's not bad. So I can use the AMP agent for planning, like what I was doing for Claude Opus. Claude Opus, I think it's $15 for the input and $75 for the output per million tokens. And like to do the same plan in Opus would probably cost us like, I don't know, $5,000-$10,000 or something like that. But using the Oracle, right? Using AMP's Oracle, it only cost me 53 cents. So that entire thread of just basically doing the planning for this entire feature because you saw everything that it did here. Like it just did, like earlier in the video, we were having this conversation. This is the entire document that it wrote out. Here's like the Oracle summary, the spec docs, and we continue to iterate on the specs. And it did a bunch of tool calling as well. And like, it just kept going and going and going. And it's like, bro, this is fire for 53 cents. Not bad. Not bad. Details. Let's see. Because we're leveraging the power of the Oracle, which is, I think, the O3 model plus some other sauce that they're using. So that's pretty cool, actually. Not bad. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what some other things here. So we have the, this is convert Claude.md to the agent markdown. So this is an entire conversation where I had like a bunch of file changes. And so this was a lot of changes because we updated tons of files and things. This usage cost me probably a lot more, 82 cents. Okay, cool. Let's see. This one had a lot of code changes. So implement the file and upload spec document. So this is once we generate the spec, right? This is the thing that we were talking earlier. I think this is the one that costs like $1 and some change. So to implement the feature cost me $1 usage. Yeah, $1.20. And we fixed a lot of bugs too along the way. So that was just one part of the thing. We not only did the spec, but we read the documentation and everything. This whole session is really not costing me that much. I thought it was going to cost me a lot more, to be honest. I thought it was going to cost me like $10, $20. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed. It's probably even cheaper than Claude Code CLI because maybe they must be doing a lot of caching here and stuff. This is fire. This is so fire. Wow. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is actually less painful than I thought it was going to be. So what code fixes did we do here? Let's see. I'm just really curious now. Okay. So what is it saying? It's saying that the Oracle has come back saying what? Keep displayed images in sync with live updates, status changes, and pagination. So the unique images, yes. Okay. Show pages, yes. And then this is now doing the combined images per page. Okay. Fix the UI stale causing the queued after backend completed syncing pagination. Okay. Replace the linked only effect. Okay. Yeah, I think this should fix the issue according to the docs. So now this is fun. It's fun to see what people are creating right now in real time. Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's just refresh here. I'm going to refresh my local host. So I'm going to quit this bun x convex dev. And then I'm going to restart my site here and then kind of fix this here. Bun dev. Okay. Let's refresh. Okay, don't allow. Upload. And so we should be able to upload something. I think we'll do this one. Yeah, this is cool. And upload and generate. This is awesome. So uploading, we should have the job started, processing. Okay, so then when this is done with its processing down below, we should be able to see the state go from processing to, yeah, perfect. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, cool. It did fix the regression. Sweet. Okay. Yeah. This is amazing. Okay, so we fixed not all of our bugs. We fixed the new implementation. Now we have a failed one. I'm gonna see if I could take one of these failed ones and see if I could retry it. So if I hit retry, did it do anything? Yeah. So now put it in here for processing. Okay. And it failed again. So I'm really curious and let's see why it failed. It doesn't tell me. Interesting. So if I retry processing. Interesting. Then it moves it back out to failed. Huh. Yeah, I'll have to take a look and see what's specific about that image that makes it fail because it's not even showing up in my logs here. Huh. Okay. Yeah, that's a really good bug. Whoever uploaded that was a really good test image. Let's go ahead and see if I can go ahead and allow and then see if I can change my camera to do like the FaceTime HD. So I think what I'll do is FaceTime HD camera. I'll start this one. And then I'll do Okay, cool. So, upload failed. Why did the upload fail? Let's see, retake. Okay. So network issue upload failed. So we have a regression for the webcam. Yeah, definitely something I got to fix here. All right, cool. So let me see if I can quickly fix it in one shot. So whenever I take images with the webcam, it fails to upload. Can you double check that regression? Okay. So I'm going to see if I can actually fix it with one shot and see what it can do from here. But yeah, so far I'm liking AMP code. It seems to be like on par with what I was using with Cursor. And the thing that was impressive to me is that like AMP code is, pay per use, you're paying for the model. So I think it was O3, and then the other one you're paying for is like Claude Sonnet. But like cost for running these types of commands, right? The whole thing is maybe cost me under like $5 or something like that. I've generated a bunch of documentation for these agents that I don't have to do in the future. Going forward now, for the features, like it cost me like maybe $1 and some change to like implement a feature, which is really, really impressive. And, like 50 cents or 80 cents for like planning out a feature and putting it back in. And so overall, I mean, I'm really impressed with how little I've been spending. I thought it was going to cost me a lot more, and it probably may cost me more, but I have these procedures, and you've been able to kind of see me walk through how I set up my documentation in my repo with my rules files so that I can work systematically through these types of things, whether it's using this agent, but now I have more autonomy because I've adopted the new Agents.md file. So for those who aren't familiar, if you go to Agents.md, this is a new standard that's currently being adopted by Codex from OpenAI. They're really pushed this new standard. AMP has adopted this, Cursor, Factory as well. Like all these different providers are adopting this. And of course, the only one who hasn't really adopted this is Claude and some other agentic coding platforms, even Google Gemini CLI. So just by adopting the new Agents.md standard, you're already going to be like ready for this new agentic world. So I definitely would suggest looking into that and seeing, how you can either have one of these types of agents implement that for you. So I think, let's see, is there an issue here? This basically saying the webcam uploads by running captured images through the same pipeline. Changes apply before calling the upload scheduler. Okay, retest by capturing a photo. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is the feature that I thought it was going to pick up, and this is a regression. So the language model like didn't pick that up, as far as like understanding that when we implemented this feature, we're implementing camera uploads, so you can upload images from your own camera roll, but it didn't actually figure out that it needed to do this for the webcam. So I tested that myself, and I found this regression, and then this kind of confirmed that, and it fixed it here. So in the code change, I'm just going to take a quick look at the code change, and here we're basically saying keep the displayed images in sync. So whenever there's this combined pipeline, what else is it doing? Okay, so for handle image capture, this is probably for handling our webcam. It's going to now call the await import. Oh, this is so ugly. Oh, why are we doing this import? Is there a better way to handle this with less code and and a dry alternative? I'm just curious. Like, I'm not a big fan of these like dynamic imports because like we're gonna do the image prep. I mean, it should be okay. I feel like I'm just curious. I'm gonna check this in anyways. YOLO, guys, YOLO. I'm gonna commit. Okay. I only test in production right now. Yeah. So I'm going to just retry this. Theoretically should work. Oh, I got to rebuild. Okay, let's test. Okay. Allow. Start camera. Okay. So we should upload failed. Oh, yeah. Why did it fail? Yeah. Okay. What is it saying now? Is it just rewriting the same file as this? Convenience wrapper, prepare for a blob. Webcam capture. Yes, this looks better. Because we have to convert it to a blob. It literally just rewrote it. Oh, man. Why can't we just import it at the top? Is it a client component? Yeah. Okay. I'm still seeing a failure on Convex. Okay. Awesome. So, like, man, I really don't like all this code that's been generated. Ugh. I feel like it needs like one big ass code review, but right now I'm still at MVP stage. And this is kind of where like the engineer inside of me is really fighting super hard. It's like, I know that like there's nuances to this, right? I'm really trying to weigh in how much time do I spend like optimizing the right code pattern to like getting this out in front of more people to give me the feedback to like iterate, right? Because it's possible I'm just going to throw this away. I might not even do webcam, right? I might save that for the iOS app where I just have a camera. I'll just call it raise camera or something like that. You launch it and it looks like a Snapchat camera. You take a picture and it just does it for you automatically. Like that could be the actual feature for the phone for iOS, right? And so me optimizing for this like webcam capture input that's already kind of funky, like, and managing, it's like, you know, is it worth me spending more tokens on this? Is it worth me like going through all these little things? Like, you know, no, to be honest, you know, also like, that's kind of why I wanted to write out these features in these little spec documents, is because it's easier for me to drive what the things I want to get out of the agents and actually my apps by defining them in these little specs and then moving forward from there. Right. So, there is a kind of give and take here, like how much time I spent, you know, working on this versus what I'm going to get out of this. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm just going to just forget about it and just so let's just remove the webcam option and just say upload your image. But I do want to keep the webcam thing because it was working before. And I think there is a problem here with what's going on. So, yeah, what is it doing? Generate config. And then first part with the image data, handle the validation schema. Okay. Node modules. Okay. Interface thinking. I don't know. Okay. What's it doing right now? Generate TS. Okay. So I'm just kind of reading through trying to see what the agent is doing right now. I'm going to unplug and replug. So one of the problems I have is when it references the global camera, it kind of resets my webcam state. So image prep is going on here. I think current app is pretty good for testing with users and getting feedbacks. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I do. Chances are you would have more success if it was just a mobile app. I agree. I totally agree with that. I feel like the mobile app is going to be like the way to go. But right now, I think we should just kind of optimize for like getting this to work like it used to work when I used to just take a photo with my webcam. Because that's kind of the more of the bigger surprise. It's like I show up and I'm going to be the one that's using it. So as long as it works for me, then I think I'm going to be cool with that. Right now, what I actually might do is change the default view for instead of camera, I'll just have it upload, and that'll be the default view. I don't even need to show failed. You know, this is just like really dry engineering UI for the experience, and I just need to get this working. So I think that'll be the next thing, and then we'll kind of check out here. So let's see what's going on. Functions ready. I think everything's good now. So, okay. The backend should now receive the actual image payload from Gemini and no longer mark it as failed or missing the data. Okay, cool. So requesting the binary image output, adding the convert pass. Okay, cool. Also, your current app in the upload when using mobile gives you features to take photo with my phone camera. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, like when you go to upload on mobile, it's going to say take photo. That's interesting. Yeah, let me just double check that real quick. So let me see what's going on. So if I do that, oh grief, what fun. Yes. Let's see. I don't know if that means anything positive because my friend just told me that. Like I sent them the picture of the dog and they're like, "Oh, good grief, what fun." I was like, "Good grief? Like good grief good or good grief bad?" See, that's why I hate texting. You know, it doesn't really, it's not so expressive. So let me go back to the app real quick. And so if I go to the app and if I go to here and select the actual choose file, oh, it says take photo, photo library, or choose file. Take photo. So theoretically, now I should be able to take the photo of me. And I'm going to use the photo. And so the photo is now stored in there. And then let's go ahead and see if I can upload and generate. So now it's uploading and then now it's processing. Dang, that was fast. No, was that me? Hold on. It disappeared. Interesting. Okay. Upload, select, choose file. No. Okay, cancel. I'm going to try again. So let's see. Take photo. If I take a photo of me. Oops. And then use the photo and hit upload and generate. I think that's what happened. It failed. Image generation started. Okay. Cool. So yeah, there's like a big regression here. I might have to just revert the code change back because it's no longer like working like the way it was working before. Yeah. All of them failed. So there's an issue with, I think, the way that it's formatted from my phone when it takes a picture from the phone, because it's currently failing. But if I select a photo from like my photo library and like select my friends in the photograph, it's currently like, I'm going to just select like my friends here. And I'm just going to hit say like upload and generate. I'm going to upload. I think those will work. That one failed too. Now everything's failing, right? Dang. 400. I wonder if I ran out of requests or maybe need some more money. Yeah, so I'm getting a 400 message back. I don't know what that means. I'll retry. Retry scheduled. Upload. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so it shows failed. Everyone's kind of getting failed messages. So I don't know what's going on. I'll have to debug further here because basically what's happening is that like whenever I upload the images, like it totally failed here. So I think the best thing for me to just be like to roll back. And so this is marked image failed, 400 response, allowed meme types text plain. Okay, so yeah, invalid arguments. So I keep getting these when it worked before. Yeah. I'm really curious. Like I'm causing more bugs. So Gemini adds express failure. Let me see if I can fix these type of things. Image prep, generate image. So this is where I think this is what's happening is that basically the config is too tight of a constraint and it's looking for like image.png. And I don't like that, you know? And then this type of thing here. So man, this is going in such a sideways direction. So like, I think what I will do is that I'm going to discard these changes. These are all trash. Discard all three. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I think what I also might do is just like revert back to a previous version. And so one of the things that was working before was like, I might go back pretty far because I just liked where it worked before. It was like really, really nice. And I didn't really like to do too much because it just like, you know, I had these states, it just loaded up and it just started working right away. So I might get to that. It's currently 7:05 and I need to get some dinner because it's already dinner time. And I've been doing on the stream for about 2 hours and 43 minutes. So I do appreciate everyone who's been able to show up on the stream live here because it's been really amazing to kind of hang out with y'all and kind of cook live with us. I'm trying to make this app viral and I've learned a whole bunch of things. And I just kind of want to do a little quick recap here before we sign on out. So so far, I've been able to use the AMP agent, use the Oracle thing. I really like the experience. It's really fun to use. It does fly pretty quickly. As far as like cost, it seems to be minimal. It's basically like using Claude Sonnet or using O3 model. There are new models that are available from other providers, and those are actually like less expensive than using these types of things. But the experience with the agent so far has been really, really smooth and really easy. And it's pretty much similar to using Cursor in a lot of ways. And I've actually been able to ship a feature using this, right? And I think that's the other thing is like, what's the benchmark? How much pain is it, or so forth, to use? And so far it's pretty good. There's like the Oracle feature when you get this explicitly say, use Oracle to do this for planning. Will I use this over Claude Opus? It seems to me very reliable, right? I can make a really detailed plan. I could put it in, and then I can hand it off to the agent. Whether I continue to use AMP for implementing the code, that's to be determined. AMP has done a really good job of like figuring out what my code base is and implementing the features. The code output seems to be, and it's just not their fault. It's just the way that they're doing the things, and it does follow the rules. I'll be really curious to go back and just start from my original plan and see if GPT-5 can implement this feature and see how it implements the feature, and if it's able to pick up extra nuances here. And that'll be a really telling sign of like what the differences are. So I might do something like that for the next stream. But to be honest, I need to move forward with my app because this is only day 3 of launching my app, and I need to go and get this into like people's hands and start using it as fast as possible. So the people who have been able to use it so far, looks like they're able to generate some images. And it works for them and so forth. So I think it's really cool that people were able to, select some images and do some things here. And I don't know if I just originally like ran out of credits or something happened. It's also possible that like I'm hitting rate limits, networking lost during upload. So yeah, I need to fix some of those types of issues. And so that's kind of like that there. Well, what am I going to use going forward? So am I going to still stick with Claude Code? Am I still going to stick with Cursor? Am I now just going to use AMP? I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm kind of still trying to digest this and take this in. I do like this experience with AMP. It's really been kind of super nice. It's good to have something else that's available because Claude Code has just been so consistently like slow and unavailable and not working so frequently that it's just been kind of a pain in the butt. This experience is really nice. I'm also already currently paying for Cursor Ultra. So like, do I still use Ultra now after this, right? Like this is still really good. The advantage that Cursor has is the fact that you're paying, like $200, but you get at least $200 of API credits and possibly more. Same thing with Claude Code, right? You pay a flat fee, and that's pretty much the threshold until they stop you from using it. And it's generally you get that same dollar amount in credits, and that's it. See, with AMP Code, you just pay as you go. So you can keep paying, $200, $300, $400, $500, and so forth. And so if you're a person who just primarily just sticks to coding with agentic coding, coding with AMP can probably get very expensive for you, but you'll probably want to weigh it out. Is your experience better? And it seems like some people were able to sign up using AMP and they get like $10 of Sonic credits. So that's pretty cool. It didn't cost us very much to generate the feature. It was like $1, but maybe it cost us like $2 and some change to generate all of the feature specs and implement the feature and, go through and fix several bugs. It really didn't cost us that much money using Sonnet. So that can take you quite a bit of long ways. And this is just like one feature. And if you're using Opus, I don't think you can select Opus here, but like if you have access to Opus over the API and you need that for whatever reason, I would just use the Oracle for AMP. Like it's pretty good, I don't know, like I've seen AMP here. It did a bunch of web searches in parallel and it seemed to be really fast. It seems to be what Cursor is doing as well. I'll have to weigh this against what Codex is, and how we would use this in Codex as well. So, other than that, so day 4, what we have to do next is I need to get this into people's hands. So the next step from here is like get some dinner, do some things, kind of relax a little bit, fix some bugs, and then come back and see if I can get this, actually working so I can go to the beach, start hitting some touristy spots, pull up to places, and just, start showing people the app and seeing what type of art styles they like too, right? So I don't want to force this on the people, but I kind of do, when somebody like show them and see what the reaction is and like, oh no, I like this art style or whatever. So that'd be what's up. So any questions y'all have? Let's see what's up. I hope there's an interface that can plan what models I should use for certain questions like to-do features. I think, yeah, for planning, it would be, I'd love to kind of find out some more kind of what you mean for that, because there's a lot of different ways this can go. I actually started using ZAI GLM 4.5 plan. They introduced a $3 per month to use with Claude Code. Yes, I saw this too. And some people were saying that they like this as a Sonnet replacement. So I'd be curious to hear what your experience is. Is it fast as Claude Sonnet? You know, when you're using Claude Code, I would love to hear like the reliability of it. Would you use that over Opus, you know, compared to your planning? Also, like compared to O3 or GPT-5, like which one would you use? Because there's a lot of different directions that we can go here. And yeah, it'd be really interesting. Trading off speed over quality at times with cursor on Grok fast. Yeah, I find Grok to be really good if I have a very specific direct change that I want to implement. So if I know that like I have this detailed plan for the file upload thing, then I want to go ahead and just tell it to implement that specific feature and nothing else. Grok Code Fast would just be like done at lightning speed. So yeah, that is what it is. So yeah, no, appreciate everyone who's been able to show up. If you want to check out the Discord, the link is available in the description, also in the pinned comment in the live stream. So check that out. You know, get in before the price doubles if you're interested. But appreciate everyone who's been able to join on this community. If you want to check out this app, you can check it out right now using this link here in the actual live chat. Oops, I pasted in my logs. Oh, that's a paste fail. So this is the link that you can use down below. This is a fork of, you know, Ross, Mike, or Mickey, who's currently working at Convex. So we've taken his app that would add a chain, and we're just adding this cool styling effect that will allow us to, you know, add these images to people and have these cool 2D drawings. And so if you're trying to use the app right now, it's probably broken, but after dinner here in Hawaii, I'm going to go ahead and fix some bugs and try to get it going. And then tomorrow I'll share some feedback and try to see if I can, you know, record my reactions with people who have been using this app live. So appreciate everyone from showing up, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out, y'all.